Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Past the Barb. Today is Monday, October 14th. We got two of us here right now. There will be three, and there will be guests. So it's an exciting night. It's just we're all running behind. But I am Adam Bartusek. I'm hosting tonight. Pink is currently on his way back from North Dakota. He's doing a little bit of waterfowl hunting. I'm not sure if he'll be making it on the pod or not later, but we are joined by the long lost man. He looks like he was at business meetings in Chicago recently. He's tidied up. He's looking good.
It's business casual. We could be a lumberjack. We could be, in the Twin Cities with our nice boots on.
You look like you've been divulging in the northeast part of Minneapolis lately.
Right.
Testing some breweries out.
Hipsters, very hoppy.
Yeah, how's your garden doing? You seem like you're just slowly kind of integrating into every stereotype we can place you
phenomenal. Our squash was phenomenal. Absolutely beautiful.
So what's a phenomenal squash? Explain that for our listeners. For people who don't know, Cody Hahner, ladies and gentlemen, he member of the podcast, been gone busy with work for a little bit.
Part-time podcaster, full-time gardener.
Yeah. Started a garden up this year with him and his lady. And okay, so what's a phenomenal squash?
It has I'm gonna try good color. Size is there. Plant is healthy, no bugs, no slugs, only the best, and has a bountiful amount of fruit. Bountiful fruit off that one plant. And it was out of the entire garden. Some plants kind of struggled. The jalapeno plants did real well, but the squashes next level.
There you go.
What we did right, we don't know, but we're gonna try to.
Did the fence hold up from all the pests and everything? Because you said that was one of the updates, right? You had to put a fence around.
We did, and we were trendsetters there because there was they built a fence into the area to try and keep out the rabbits, but it obviously didn't work. They built the fence, and then the next day I go over to water the garden, and there's 4 rabbits still eating everybody's food. I'm like, okay, enough is enough. So yeah, we had to build a waist-high fence that did well against the rabbits. They just avoided ours and ate everybody else's. And but the one thing we're trying to figure out is certain pesticides that we can use. That's the thing we're gonna have to look into next year, and definitely managing how many plants you can put in a garden. That was a big thing.
There has to be a ratio to what can actually succeed based off of the amount of soil you have. It's almost like farmers discovered that a while ago.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of went after it. At first, you plant the little plants in the ground. You're like, oh, we could have put way more in here. And then by about June, you realize, oh, no, we kind of screwed up here. That we should have planned this a little better. So all things noted.
Yeah, noted. Ready for next year. The harvest season done. Do you have anything else getting pulled out of the garden?
Everything is done. Our jalapeno plants are going to be babysat because they were good producers. So we're going to hold on to those. Maybe plant them again next year. That was pretty exciting.
What does that mean? You pull them out and put them in a pot and you bring them in the apartment, or what?
Basically, yeah. That's about it.
Look at you.
I know. I've got a green thumb.
You got green curtains too.
Yes, I do. See, look, I got the whole get up. I got the hair,
I disappeared for 2 months and everything's changed. No muskie behind him anymore. Yep. Got a little bit of a nice hair lick to the side.
Yep. Waft.
I love it.
No, that's smell nice.
Yeah, it smells nice. He actually showered.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
No,
that's awesome. So for people who are hopping on, we are the #1 outdoor podcast in the world. Been running for, I think it's 16 months now. We've gotten close though. Yeah, Pangrak almost got us with BTL, but he's just a little bit of a pussy sometimes. He just disappears to Japan and then kind of comes back.
Oh yeah, world travelers. Well, we're still the #1 outdoor podcast, so.
Yeah, no, because we're dedicated.
We are dedicated.
Every 2 weeks.
I rely. And some of us show up.
Yeah, and some of us at sometimes. Which, speaking of, We're going to bring in one of our other hosts, Mr. Sam Sobi. You want to tell the folks, what are the folks going to get when we get to 1,000 YouTube subs, Sobi? We're getting close. We're under a hundo.
They're getting a massive giveaway. They're getting prize packs and some unique items too, not just awesome hunting and fishing, I guess, gear, but we're going to throw in kind of some gems and some Easter eggs too. So when we get to 1,000 subs, we're doing a fat giveaway. So tell your friends, tell your family.
Would it be frowned upon for Hahner to mail one of his jalapenos?
Absolutely not. No. Especially
I feel like that would. As a part of the giveaway or one of your squash?
Over my dead body.
Sobi wasn't here for that part, but Hahner said his squash yield was incredible this year.
I believe it. I know he's been gardening and yeah, he's just
working the fields, man.
He's working the fields with his hands, and you wouldn't know it by what he's wearing tonight because he looks really good tonight.
That's literally what I opened the podcast with.
Thank you.
I said he looks like he's been in Northeast just brewery hopping for the last.
I was actually in Vermont color watching, but
yeah, you were visiting Jody White in Vermont. You know, doing a little apple picking, looking at fall colors. Guy looks good for once in his life, and we just absolutely fucking.
I know. Well, and there was no heads up. It's like we're all gonna come here looking like total pieces of trash, and then you just lay down this 10 out of 10 outfit with beautiful hair done. And
thank you. It took me 45 minutes to get the hair gel right.
Oh, that's beautiful. Incredible. All right. Well, what have you? So, Sobi, what have you been up to lately? We'll kind of go around the room, check in with everybody.
Yeah. I've been getting in a tree a lot more, which is sweet. That's
we have like the first major cold front push, so stuff's got to be happening in the woods, right? That's what they always say, anyways.
Yeah, and the land I hunt, there's a lot of does there, a lot of ladies, and usually it's not till like the end of October, or like when the rut really kind of fires up that we even get a glimpse of bucks at all. But tonight, at like 5:30, hour and a half left, I hear this deer walking behind me, and I'm like, oh, freezer queen, because I'm definitely going for a doe. And I turn around and I see a tine, and I'm like, oh, there's this 3-pointer that's just been regularly just smoking the spot. And Steph's out for blood with him. And I thought that was old 3-point, and then picks his head up, and it was a pretty decent 7-pointer.
Nice.
Probably a 2-year-old buck still, but like, I'm no big buck slayer. I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay.
I'll take that.
Okay. And he kind of came in and he's working behind me, and my whole camera setup is in front of me. And I was like, if he works his way in front of me, I'm giving him the onions. And he kind of stayed back there, made a half-ass scrape. And he was walking with the wind, by the way. He was, yeah. That's how I think this cold front has made them act a little freaky. Like they're acting a little freaky early. So that was my evening, and it was good. It's been fun to get in the damn woods.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. That's sweet. So, Hahner, what have you been up to? So, what was I'm not trying to take a dig at you, but actually, when was the last podcast you were on? What was our last check-in with Cody Hahner? Because I don't think it's when I was here. I think I listened to it, so I haven't talked to you for a while on here.
I think you were here. I think you were here. We did. Man, I guess it has been a long time because I can't even remember what we talked about.
I know. When's the last?
I want to say it was 4 weeks.
It could have been.
I think it was not this last one, but the one after.
Was it right were you after the opens? We were talking about lock drama.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No, you weren't here for the Chancey Walters episode.
No, I wasn't.
Anyways, what have you been up to?
What have I been up to? I've actually been getting out in the boat a decent amount here, and I have been having a lot of fun on like the local area rivers, central Wisconsin. That's been a lot of fun.
It seems like fishing or muskie banging.
A little of both.
Okay.
Actually, boys, I got my first derby coming up on Saturday, and not to curse it, but I have never lost this event. So we're gonna keep our fingers crossed here. We're gonna keep our fingers crossed here.
The derby is this in case people want to watch the results.
It's like a 19 boat event.
Is it bass or muskies?
It's bass.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Is this a point tournament?
No. It's just a central Wisconsin tournament that like it's because the DNR only allows up to 19 boats before you need a permit or whatever.
Yeah, we have a ton of those tournaments.
Right. There's always this fall one on. Sam knows this stretch of river that I probably talked about back in school, and yes, correct, and I just know where they go, and if I lock a couple baits in my hand and I stay where they are, we catch 5 over 4 pounds, and we come in and we collect the check. So
return of the champ. Go there and take those punks' money.
Yes.
Quick
So
money
that's a game
grab.
plan. But otherwise, we've been muskie fishing. I've been out good number of times, and the bite's definitely picking up with this major cold front. Fish are finally actually showing up again. It seems like there's a weird phenomenon in that stretch of river. A lot of the fish and muskies are actually going through dams and getting to different pools than they have been over the course of their lives. So like the STP, the sewer, used to be an okay fishery. Now it's like the place to be, because a lot of the fish from the upper pools are now residing in those like lower places. So it's definitely getting a lot better. Sucker fishing's like heating up big time, and now glide baits and fun bites, predictable bites are happening, and it's just a good time to get out where you can just point at the map and be like, oh, that's where they're going to be. There's going to be 5 of them. That's it right there.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, heading into the good old fall season. I got out last week one day. I mean, to be completely honest, I fished so much from ice just to open water to summer to like there was just never a break. The last 2 weeks I've kind of had a nice little break. Haven't really hated it. Yeah, just been watching football, hanging out. I did go out for one fun day last week on like Thursday. It was going to be like the last 80-degree day, and I went out and I caught 1 pike.
Dang.
I called Sobi while Sobi and I were chatting while I was on the lake. He's like, dude, how is it? And I'm like, oh, I'm 100% on a lake that's turning over right now. And he's like, oh, dang, you can get him. I'm like, no, sir, I will not be getting a bite today. And I'm like, but it is nice out, and I plan on leaving in the next hour and a half. But I'm just gonna keep working around and fishing. But I expect nothing. But yeah, so that was kind of how my day went. I'm probably gonna get out next week a couple times, but I mean, other than that, man, a lot of people know I don't really get into the hunting. I don't do it, so just live vicariously through my friends this time of year. Try to call them, see what's going on, get a little bit of stories. And other than that, I am, as crazy as it sounds, I'm starting to buckle down and get ready for ice season. So got a lot of videos I'm working on and different stuff. And
it's
Sobi, you know, and just like our guest who will be here in a sec knows as well, in 1 month from today, there will probably be one soul somewhere in Minnesota walking on ice. Which is crazy.
Yeah, like I'm excited for ice, no doubt, but like when you give it the timeline of 1 month, I'm like, no.
I'm not ready for that.
No.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You can have another month of open water after that on most bodies of water. It's just, if you want to go chase that early ice, man, you can find it a lot earlier than people think, and you can be safe doing it. So, I'm getting excited about it. I swung by. Me and Alyssa went up to a wedding this weekend. Congrats. While I will, and Katie, they are married now.
Shout out while I will.
Hell of a party. Went up to Park Rapids, went to that wedding. That was a fun time. Got to see a bunch of friends. Haven't seen much over the last few months. So yeah, it was a great time. Got back home and it's cold.
What was it like?
It is cold.
What was it like attending like a walleye wedding? You know what I mean? I feel like as walleye will, it's kind of like a pro walleye angler. I feel like there had to been you were outnumbered potentially.
Yeah, I was definitely the bass guy. I just didn't really talk to anyone about bass.
Really? You should have got drunk and got cocky.
No, I did that at the St. Paul Ice Show last year. For those who remember, sorry, Nick Linder and Brett Coleman.
Fishing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I did get in a conversation about like one guy was the one line we dabbled down was a guy was telling me that scoping for bass is easier than walleyes. And I was like, bro, you literally throw a night crawler on a bobber.
You got to give it to him.
You guys are scoping with live bait. Like, come on. But no, it was cool seeing everybody and talking to them, especially talking with guys who are like really, really, really good at walleye fishing now.
Yeah.
So I was just more learning. Like, I feel like their world, like everybody thinks the bass fishing world is flipped upside down over the last couple of years. The walleye world has actually completely flipped upside down. Everybody's learned that walleyes are actually pelagic. They don't orient to structure. That's why a good day previously before forward facing was like 5 fish. So yeah, just people learning a lot, talking to guys about it. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, Sobi, it was definitely weird in that sense, but it was super fun. Like there was a bunch of people there. It was very rowdy. Got to go back to Park Rapids, which I hadn't been to since I was like 12 years old. So it was pretty cool. I'm pretty sure I ate actually at a breakfast spot that you and Hazer filmed at.
Shout out Ganley's or Park Rapids. Park Rapids.
Great Northern Cafe.
Probably, yes. Yeah. Yes, great. Yes.
I believe you filmed there. Yeah. I ate breakfast there. It was good. I'm sure the same crowd that was in the background of your video was there this time too.
That was actually a breakfast spot recommended by a Tinder date of Hays's, a gal that he had swiped right on. And we were in the Park Rapids area, and he's a single man out there just in the wild. And he's chatting with these women, and then usually Hays is like either asking him, come fishing with me, kind of take you fishing, and then I'm like, dude, hit these ladies up and say, like, where's the breakfast spot here in Park Rapids? Because we don't know that area well. And that was a suggestion. So shout out Lady of Park Rapids for that.
Tinder match 283. Oh, that's beautiful. All right. Yeah. So that's really all we've been up to. The only thing, we're going to do a quick segment here before we bring Hazer on. This will be nice and quick.
Hays is coming on too. That's electric.
Yeah, I know. It's perfect. Hays is coming on. We've had a lot of people asking to bring Hays back for trivia. So we're going to have a fun episode tonight. We got Hays coming for trivia. And then we got the first interview with the Bassmaster Opens EQ Angler of the Year. Easton's going to come hang out with us for a while, so that'll be a good time. But Hahner and I were talking about this beforehand. We got to do a little. Yeah, Hahner didn't. Okay, we're going to run this name idea by Hahner Sobi. He didn't get to hear it yet. So we have a new segment on the podcast, and where we dive into a little bit of sports. And a listener suggested, and I lead this segment, so we had to come up with a name. And Pink just had it written down as Bart Sports, and like that obviously can't be the name. So we kind of left it open to some suggestions, and a listener said we should do BartStool Sports.
Okay.
And I was like, we might as well do it until we get sued.
I was going to say that cease and desist will be coming, I'm sure.
But then we get noticed, so this could work for us. It's crazy they already haven't noticed.
We're the number one outdoor podcast. Yeah. I feel like we can name anything what we want. And if they want to send some cease and desist, we'll send some cease and desist. So here's shout out BarStool. Shout out PTB.
PTB.
We already thought of that before you even named it.
Thought of that 27 years ago.
No, I like it.
So, no, for a little bit of sporting world, the one thing Hahner and I were talking about, so not only are the Vikings really good, it just turns out the whole NFC North is just really fucking good.
They are ripping.
Like everybody. Really good. Packers are 4-2, and they're literally last in the NFC North.
And they're good.
And
they're good. Like, I don't want to play them.
No, I don't want to play anyone in the NFC. Like the Lions were like messing around with the Cowboys yesterday. Like,
yeah, dude, that was
bringing offensive tackles to have like productive plays and touchdowns at the end of the game.
Yeah, so did you see a little bit of backstory here? But did you see what Dan Campbell was doing with the offensive tackles and everything?
No, I didn't. No, I kind of caught just some highlights in the score.
So
but
last year, the Lions played the Cowboys, and at the end of the game, they had a lineman report eligible for a pass. They ran the play. He caught a touchdown to win the game. Penalty thrown, said offensive lineman did not report. And literally on TV and everything, you can see the lineman go report. Like it was just like Cowboys favoritism type bullshit.
Yeah.
So first play of the game, Dan Campbell sends that lineman out and lines him up at wide receiver.
Yes.
And reports him eligible, and they run a play. And then at the end of the game, when they're up by 30 plus, every time they get in the red zone, they try to get a tackle to score and just absolutely pour it on the Cowboys.
Oh my gosh.
It was
so much fun to watch.
Dan Campbell's a savage like that.
Yes.
Oh, dude, it was old school, just like
it's Dan Campbell.
It was awesome.
Would love to play there. I mean, the atmosphere sounds amazing.
Yeah. So the Vikes had a bye week. They play the Lions next week, and it's going to be an awesome football game.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be tough as nails, dude. I just hope it's a good game, and we go 4 quarters with them. I don't care who wins or loses. I just hope we go 4 quarters with them. They're freaking good.
I think it'll be good. We talked about this beforehand. I stand by my statement. I think the Vikings are really good, and they're 5-0 with the Kansas City Chiefs. I legitimately think they're one of the best teams in the NFL right now, all the way through. And yeah, I think it'll be fun to watch. It's going to be really fun to watch the Detroit Lions offense versus Brian Flores defense.
Yeah,
is going to be spectacular. It is going to be so much fun to watch. So
and
I'm excited
of the
about
Lions,
that.
We gotta get Frank Ragnow on here. Shout out Frank Ragnow.
Yeah, Frank's a homie.
Offensive lineman, also avid outdoorsman, plays for Lions. He's a total stud. And yeah, he's gonna be fun to watch next week too. We got to get him on the show, man. He's a great angler.
I can text Frank. We'll get him on sometime. It'll either need to be a bye week or off season, but he'll hop on. We'll get Frank on sometime.
Yeah,
he's
we'll get
awesome.
him on.
But yeah, Hahner, we got kind of Pink's evaluation of the Packers season, but truthfully, I don't know if Pink actually watches the Packer games very often, and I know you do. So give me a little bit of what your thoughts are and everything.
Honestly, I have not been super close watching thus far. If I gave an opinion, I would have about 1 billion Packers fans screaming down my neck like, but
we don't do this on the pod. We don't just appease the listeners. You tell them what you feel, brother. You tell them what you feel.
I would love to have Wisconsin fans pissed off.
I think that the defense definitely needs some work. I would really like to know what's going on with Romeo Doubs, and because it seems like there's some cancer going on in the locker room. I'm curious about that. But as far as like turning into a well-rounded team, I think they're on their way. But young football team mistakes and some errors by Matt LaFleur, which seemingly have costed us the last few years, and the trend seems to continue, is what I see.
How did Love look last Sunday? I didn't watch the Packers game, but like,
good.
How does mobility look in general?
He looked fine to me, at least. I mean, as far as progressing, like 4 touchdowns and a pick.
Yeah, no, he's healthy.
Yeah, he's
back.
Fine. Yeah.
Yeah, like the NFC North is just awesome.
Stacked. And Caleb Williams, I don't care what people say, he is not going to be like some bust. I think he's going to be around for a long time. I think just dealt with the Bears.
Yeah, the NFC North is legit. It's going to be fun to watch this year. It's going to be a fun time. Is it possible for everyone to make the playoffs?
I don't know. It's BartStool Sports.
Yeah, this is your segment, bro.
I'm just saying numbers wise. Is there 3 wildcard teams now? I think there is.
I don't know.
So no, there isn't. Yeah, there is. It is possible for it to happen. But it would be crazy. I don't think
crazy. Highly unlikely. But
yeah, I would think the Bears are going to get the ones to be left out. However, the Bears do have the easiest schedule, and they're good. So
Yeah.
it'll be fun to see how it transpires. And then for all our ladies listeners, the Lynx and Liberty are tied 1-1 in the WNBA finals. And actually, the first game I did watch, it was extremely entertaining. Went into overtime.
Who's the coach of the Lynx now? Do you know?
No,
Okay.
I can't remember. I'm not that diehard of a WNBA fan. I did watch though, and it was entertaining. I've watched more WNBA games than I ever have in my life this year, and it's 100% because of Caitlin Clark.
Same. Yeah,
which everybody else has gained off of it. So, been fun to watch. Wild season started. Baseball is in playoffs or in the NLCS and the ALCS, and everybody's humming right now. NBA is about to kick off. Timberwolves are going to be really good again. And this is actually a perfect segment. We're going to bring in our buddy Hazer, diehard Timberwolves fan. Hazer,
Buddy Hays, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome the one, the only Hays Baldwin, wearing the hat that says "the hell I won't."
Hazer, tell me about how you feel about the Teapots heading into this year. Big trade just happened. We got some little bit of we had a trade, a little bit change of the guard with Cat gone now.
And an iconic jersey swap last night per se too.
Yeah, between the Cat and Ant. I do want to backtrack, Adam. You were talking about the Lynx head coach. Her name is Cheryl Reeve.
Thank you. Yes.
She's actually up right now, possibly for Coach of the Year for the WNBA, but I'm not.
Really?
But if you're Glenn Taylor and you own the Lynx and Timberwolves, you're at least happy with one franchise.
Didn't he sell? Doesn't that go through after this year?
No, they never could come up with the funds, so they're like 20% owners.
A-Rod?
And Bloomberg too. He got in on it. He's the tech billionaire dude.
So it didn't go all the way through. So A-Rod, Lore, and Bloomberg are partial now.
Exactly.
Gonna have to learn more about that.
Which means Taylor has to say at the end of the day. So the Cat trade, basically, it was going to happen, next year regardless. And I think his value, in my opinion, is just going to go down from here. And I think we got good pieces in return. To be honest with you,
I thought it was a great trade. We needed another guard to go with Ant. Dante is very, very, very underrated in the NBA. He is going to be very, very good with him. And if Julius Randle can stay healthy, which I would think he'll be able to with our depth, should be another fun Wolves year. And plus, it's Anthony Edwards' team. At some point, you had to hand him the keys to the car and say go.
For sure, man. And I was lucky enough, one of my customers on Vermilion gifted me a pair of seats, basically courtside, right above the bench for the opposing team for one game. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but it comes with the Lexus courtside experience, so they'll valet my car, and I will work my way down.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God, Hayes.
Oh, man.
That was sweet.
That's going to be amazing. All right. So for the people who don't know, what we're going to do, we're bringing back a good old segment. We got Trivia with Hayes. This gained steam over COVID back in 2020 with Hayes and Stolsky. It took a long break until Past the Barb came around. We've brought it back routinely. And, what do you got for us, Hayes? How the scoring tends to change every time we do this. So maybe let us know what the scoring's going to be and then explain to the folks how this is going to go.
Scoring will be 1 point for a correct or whoever's the closest to the number. I do like to use numbers. We do have some states in here. So whoever's, if we're naming a state, whoever's state's closest state that I name, right, that's how someone will receive 1 point. Then in the event of a tie, it'll be 0.5. Does that make sense?
Okay. No quarters this time.
No, did I try to do that one?
You tried to do that one time. I do remember quarters. But all right, Hazer, let her rip. So we're all going to give our answers just in a roundabout way, or how do you want to go by this? This is your game. We're all just playing it.
I think Sobi should start, and then we'll go up, and then next question you start, Adam, and go down. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we can do that.
Cool. I've got 10 questions, and then I have a bonus question, number 11. That's worth 2 points. Is that fair?
That's fair. Sobi is so excited.
I'm so excited. This is old school. This is OG. For all you that are new, this is iconic trivia right here. But for all you that are OGs, Buddy Hayes is back. He's back in the dirty metro. He's back from guiding. He's back to doing what he loves most, which is trivia.
I got the frozen pizza. course.
Thank you.
That's a guide's treat.
So, like I said, 10 questions, 1 bonus question. Should I roll or what? Are you guys ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're ready to rip.
All right. Which U.S. state has the most Olympians? So that we're in the Olympics this year. I've got the number, but we're saying which U.S. state has the most Olympians? And once you guys answer,
Is it summer or winter at Olympics this past year?
Combined.
Combined?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll answer.
Yeah, Sobi, you're first.
I'm going to go straight out the gate. I'm going to go Colorado.
Colorado?
Yeah.
All right.
Olympic training facility is there.
That's-
I want to say maybe
It's
that might be,
combined, huh?
but it's combined. That might
it-
be.
Is it where they were born? Or where they they live?
Train, I don't know. I mean, where they? Yeah, I suppose it could be where they live.
Okay.
I'll stick with Colorado.
You're sticking with Colorado? Final answer? All right.
Is it me next?
I
Or is
think
it
me.
Hahner?
Honor next.
Okay, Hahner.
California.
Okay.
I am gonna lean heavy into the Winter Olympians taking over this count, and I'm actually gonna say Minnesota,
Oh.
All right.
and I could be way wrong.
Yeah, the correct answer is California.
Yeah,
Oh.
I also thought that was probably it, but I thought I'd try something else.
And actually, the second state is Texas, believe it or not.
That was my
Texas,
second.
too.
Nice.
I was thinking Texas.
All right.
Texas, California had 143, and the next closest was Texas with like 50 something. Isn't that unbelievable?
Wow. Yeah.
You got California, Northern California. You can do a lot of.
Snowboarding, skiing.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. Yeah, good point. Tahoe.
Mhm.
Wait, Tahoe, California?
Yeah,
Right. It's not Nevada.
no, Tahoe's California.
Are we sure about that?
Yes.
Okay,
Final answer.
cool. Yep, don't fact check that. Or do.
I got to give the 1 point to Hahner.
All right, Hahner
All right,
with an
off to
early lead.
lead.
Hunter's been so good and so strong in trivia for so long.
Every time we have a
Fully-
competition, it's like he shows back up and then he just crushes
Yep.
us.
Yeah, he knew there was trivia tonight, so he dresses up. He clearly
Uh-huh.
hasn't been under the influence of any cold beers, and then he does his hair, and he just decides to take
He's
points from
actually
us.
sober.
Yeah, this is just me right off.
Using 100%.
This is bullshit.
Protest.
Just to
Fuck
smoke
this.
the competition.
Now that you mentioned it, Sobi, this does all add up.
Yeah, I know.
All right, Hays.
Number 2. What is the weight of the world's heaviest man? How much does he weigh? How big?
It's Hahner's guess first?
Show me your hands. Make sure you ain't Googling this.
No Googling. All right.
No, I'm not.
It's Bart. Bart is up first, I believe.
The
No,
world-
you went next. You went after Sobi, so you would go.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I'll go. Then we'll just go that way.
the world's heaviest man. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Okay. I'm gonna go 1,057 pounds.
Oh, damn it.
1,000-pounder?
I feel like that's a really good guess, Cody.
Remember 1,000-pound sisters or whatever?
Yeah.
1,000.
1,057.
I'm going to go. God damn.
World's heaviest man.
on. Who's up now?
It's me. I'm going to go with a big boy. I'm going to go 1,187.
Oh my gosh.
So
No way.
Toby,
The quest to 1,000.
you got one or the other.
I gotta go under. I'm gonna go 925 pounds.
For the world's heaviest man.
Yeah, 1,000-pounder? You kidding me? Come on.
He's literally said there was a TV show about two 1,000-pound women.
That's two 500-pounders.
Oh, was it 2 hogs?
Yeah, that's two 500. That's two 500-pounders. Come on,
I don't think so.
1,000-pound human, you guys.
The world's heaviest man.
We're so high.
1,425.
No,
Oh,
no,
he
no,
jeoparded me.
I got it.
Bart,
no way. What's his name? Shout out.
I don't have a name, but I got the weight.
1,400
30.
lbs.
Sobi, believe this or not, I was 300 pounds short, and
I-
that's a big boy.
I thought you guys
Imagine
were
another
off,
big
dude.
boy on the big boy I picked.
Yeah, I'm picturing like a 500 pounder is nuclear big, and then 700 pounds would be like that's kind of where I was. I don't know, 1,000 pounder.
Dude, you gotta watch more
He's the
reality.
size of a
TV.
Honda Civic. Yeah, you need to
700,
turn on
that's nothing.
TLC one of these days, man.
700
That's not possible,
You
dude.
need to turn on
700 is like a
TLC one
skinny
of these
one.
days. You'll see some TV shows that open your eyes to things that are possible in the world that you would have never known about.
I don't have cable, but I need cable.
Man, I
Oh,
thought,
man.
yeah, if you don't have cable, you should be able to see these shows.
All right, Hazer, what do you got?
I just realized the third question. I have to kind of screw around with it a little bit because I know for a fact that Sobi's got the upper hand on this question here.
Okay.
Well, that'll make it interesting, man, because he's in last right now.
I know that's good. That's good. Throw me a bone.
Although this was long enough ago where I doubt it'll even matter. What horsepower motor was on my Lund Alaskan, the boat prior to the
oh shit,
tiller that I have now? So that was a Mercury. And what horsepower was the motor on my Lund Alaskan? That was a tiller before this Illumicraft that I have. What number horsepower?
it's me
What
first.
size? What
was the
size
length of the
Alaska is
boat?
it?
20-foot boat. 20-foot boat.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm gonna go with a 115.
Bart's going 115. Now, no, never mind. I'm not even gonna say it.
Yeah, no, you can't give any more info after I guessed.
No,
So
Come on,
is it?
Sobi. What do you
it's
got?
Oh, it's me?
right?
Yeah.
I also think it was a 115.
okay.
I'm gonna go. The only reason you had this question is it was either way overpowered or slightly underpowered. So I'm gonna go a 90.
God, it could be a 90.
90. All right. Correct answer is 115.
Yes.
Oh.
The original question was what horsepower is on my newest boat, but I had to revert from that because I'm pretty certain that Sobi's the only one that's fit. Well, I know he's the only one that's fishing it and probably knows the horsepower of it, but
175.
it is a one.
115 was my original answer.
I would have guessed a 200. So
Really?
yep.
175 big tiller.
0.5 for Bart, 0.5 for Sobi.
All right. What do we
On the
got
board.
next, Hazer?
Put you in the lead, Bart. Question number 4. Would that be correct? Question number 4, yes.
Yep.
Deer Lake, north of Grand Rapids, is one of Minnesota's clearest bodies of water. What is the average water clarity according to the Minnesota DNR?
Oh, hell yeah. Okay. I think I know this one.
Have you guys ever fished Deer Lake or
No.
haven't you?
No.
I have partook.
Have you? You've been up there?
Yep.
Nice. Yeah, I it's one of my favorite lakes. There's not real giant smallmouth, but there's a lot of them.
And it is very clear.
And it's very clear. So we're going what is the average water clarity according to the Minnesota DNR? So if you were to punch it in Lake Finder and you're looking at the water clarity, which I will say I've been paying a lot of attention to water clarity lately as I search out bass lakes. The dirtier the better, buddy.
Whose
And
shot
that's
is
Hahner, you're first. Or wait. Did I guess first on the last one? Sobi, you're first.
Nobody's first.
I'm going to go 23-foot water clarity.
23.
Mm-hmm.
So DNR, this would be 23.0 is the water.
Yeah.
All right.
This is
Connor.
the clearest body of water in Minnesota.
I'd say that it's one of.
It's one of, yeah. I don't think it is the clearest, but
The water's like freaking turquoise, though. It's crazy.
yeah, it's very blue.
22.
Hunter's going 22.
Mm-hmm.
So wait, if I'm the closest and I just fuck Connor, does that still work?
Yeah, but do you go high or low?
Yeah, you got 23, Hunter 22. I will say it kind of shocked me. I think I have seen one or two that were clear, but obviously that's not going to help you really.
Can I just I'm gonna be
No,
a dick.
no.
I'm gonna fuck Connor, but then I want to guess what my actual guess is because I think I know it right on the nuts. But I'm gonna go. What was your guess, Connor? 22.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go 21.9. And my guess though is 18.7.
Okay.
That's what I would have guessed, but I'm gonna play the game. I'm just going under Cody.
Savage out here.
It is actually 13.3.
Oh, okay.
Really?
I would have guessed 16 if I had to re-guess. Like if I
All I've ever seen is like 16, 17, but maybe, I don't even recall what lake it was, to be honest.
Yeah, I suppose 20.
20's a lot. Yeah,
That's a lot.
I should have went 16.
And
Either
that's
one.
average clarity too, because like you think of the fall sometimes, and you're on some lakes, and you look down, and you're like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Mhm.
We got Hunter with 1, Sobi with a 0.5 point, Bart with 2.5.
Dang, Bart.
Bart's
Walking away with it.
question number 5. How many walleyes hit my knife on Lake Vermilion this summer?
Oh, Jesus Christ!
That's a good question.
How many did I fillet? But this is not only my own, but some of the customers at the resort and other guides fish as well. But we had the chalkboard tally board going.
This is a phenomenal trivia question.
Can I ask how many days were you up there?
109 days, 157 guide trips.
No mental math. You just follow your heart.
I like to heart. Well, remember, we're sometimes.
Yeah, but sometimes it's groups and stuff like that too.
But this is just an app. Usually it's 2 to 3 people, sometimes 4, sometimes 5. Think about that. And that 5 would be what? The limit on walleyes is 4 up there, a person.
Yeah, but maybe he didn't catch him this year. We don't know that. He didn't give us that information.
Last year I caught 911.
Oh.
And I was up there a couple
So
more.
how many he cut though?
How many hit my knife? I figure I caught around 3,500 to 4,000.
Your knife. Wow.
So like a lot of small ones, and we put some slot fish back, but most of them are eaters that you can catch.
All right, no more clues. Let's hear the guesses.
No more clues.
Honor.
I'm gonna go 1,250.
It's a lot of death.
A lot.
I'm gonna go. Hays likes to harvest. I'm gonna go with the year I believe he was born. Actually, I don't know this. It'll be around there. We'll go in 1995.
Holy cow! Almost 2,000 dead walleyes.
Just decimated.
I thought, I'm thinking the groups,
So you're left with either. I mean, there's a big gap between those two. Go below it, you could go above it. I mean, what do you?
Was that the year you were born, Hays?
97, but
Fuck.
I'm going to go a touch higher than Cody. I'm going to go 1,300. 1,300 walleyes.
1,300 walleyes. So the correct answer is 1,375. So you got that correct.
Yes.
Dang, Hays. I thought you harvested more than that, man.
That's a lot of walleyes. Holy
He
balls.
said he caught 3,000 or so, and most of them are keepers. And I was like, all right.
Oh, I mean, like a lot. There's a lot of like dangs, like 12 inches. I throw them back then.
It's the future.
Yeah, but it was about 400 more for little 400 more than last year, basically.
They should put that on the website. Be like, one of our guides cleaned 1,300 walleyes last year. Why would you not come? Come to this resort.
It averaged out to be like 9 fish a trip, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, I did the math on it, but
That's wow.
You'll forever have blood on your hands.
so I haven't cut anything since I've been back. Oh, just kidding. I harvested a lemon on gall, but
Hayes loves a harvest.
this next question is really interesting.
All right.
And
What
this
do you got, Hayes?
Hunter's got 1 point. Sobi has 1.5. Bart has 2.5.
All right. We're on question 6, right?
On question number 6, yeah.
Yep. All right.
You prepared?
I am.
All right. What is the limit in Montana for crappies? What is the limit
Shit.
for crappies? A place where I didn't even know that they existed, but apparently they do.
Yeah. I believe it's 50.
All right. Bart is going 50. His final answer?
Yeah.
Hey, Sobi.
I'll
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
I'll go 60.
60. All right. Hunter?
50.
50?
The only other thing I'm obviously sticking with the answer. It might be a state that doesn't have a limit,
You might have no limit.
but I'm staying with 50.
Sobi, guess what, brother? You got it. The limit is unlimited. So
Damn it!
Boom!
is
Boom! I was gonna
It's
guess
like-
75, maybe.
It's like Maine. It doesn't have a limit. Yeah.
Oh yes,
How does that work?
that's so crazy. There is not a limit. On
It's a rough
crappies out there.
fish.
Think about that.
Huh.
Unbelievable.
Montana is wild. Montana.
You keep as many crops as you want in Montana, but I doubt they're in. Well, they got to be in the reservoirs. Fort Peck has them apparently.
Cody, you can run 10 tip-up lines for pike out there per person. I think 8 or 10, and you have to check them. I think
No, it's like 20. I'm pretty sure it's like 20 or 25.
Trot
like
lines. Literally.
you have to check them once a day. You can leave them out overnight, and you just
Once
have
every
to,
24
Oh, that's
hours.
fantastic.
you go set them out and then go enjoy some
Go
time
back
at
to
the bar.
cabin.
Yeah, you don't
Yeah.
have to be. You don't have to be a specific distance away from them.
Oh, that's
Isn't that wild?
fantastic.
I could
mean,
literally
know
go
people
set
in
my tip
Wisconsin
ups,
just
drive to
don't do that, but
Minneapolis for my friend to take a flight, turn around, drive back, check my tip ups, and I'm legal.
Fish trap. That's insane.
I say we go out there and catch them when they're spawning. The Lakers.
All right, Hazer. What's next?
All right,
Question
blown
7.
away.
Sobi with an emphatic comeback.
This question, all you guys should have maybe have an idea or maybe not. Maybe someone has the upper hand over another, but you guys all Minn Kota trolling motors. What year was the first Minn Kota trolling motor invented? It was invented in Fargo, North Dakota. I thought this was really interesting. The answer to this: what year was the first Minn Kota trolling motor invented? By the way, we have a two-way tie between Sobi and Bart Hahner with one.
Who
Is
guessed
Sobi's first this time? Because I guessed first last time. This is question 7.
Really? We're gonna go 1952.
1952, the first Minn Kota trolling motor.
Hahner.
God, could be way before that.
65. 1965.
1965,
What was yours, Sobi?
Mine was 1952.
52, right?
I'm going to go with 1951, and I'm pretty sure I won that because there was a marketing campaign by Minn Kota this year of 100 years of Minn Kota.
Really?
Yes. So I believe it has to be earlier, unless I'm crazy. But I thought I saw 100 Years of Minn Kota marketing campaign.
No, but guess what? What it was, Bart, was probably 90 because 1934 is the correct answer.
Oh,
That's what it was. 90 Years of Minn Kota. But I remember it being a big marketing campaign. So I won that one.
Well, all you guys use Minn Kota, right? I mean, that's a fair herb.
yeah. Dang.
As my Vantage and Altera both quit out of me in the last week, and now I'm. What I got?
You don't use Minn Kota because you don't have one.
I used to have a motor guide. I like that thing. That thing was good.
You'd be the first one I've heard say that in a long time.
Hence his hat. The hell I won't.
All right. Question 8. What do we got? Hays, Hahner, you're up.
Okay. This one's kind of fucked, boys.
Sobi, did you just snort?
Yeah, I got it. Well, the questions have been so over the board. It's been an Olympian sports question. It's been the largest person in the world. It's been
What's the crappie living in Montana? Doesn't exist.
And then he leads with this one's gonna be boys. I don't know what's coming, dude.
We got a black rapper coming. Something's coming.
Question number 8. Now, Bart has taken the lead with 3.5, by the way.
Okay.
Question number 8. How many U.S. states allow you to marry your first cousin? I mean, come on. I don't even think it should be legal, but apparently it is.
I think 17.
Honors.
That seems like a fairly confident, quick answer.
It seems like a lot.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 13.
I think it's 13 or 17.
Oh my gosh. Do I go in between them or do I go lower?
Wait. 13 for Bart, right?
Yeah, Hahner was 17.
Okay, so Sobi, you either go lower or higher. I can't say how many it was banned in. I'll at the end I'll answer it, I guess, but
or do I go in between?
I don't know.
I'm going to go in between. I'm going to go 15.
Hunter's got it. 19 states.
Jesus.
Oh, I thought I had it dead on.
No. No.
That's screwed up.
That's insane.
Is Minnesota one of them?
No, so you got Mississippi, Alabama.
No, they're weird. Like California, Massachusetts, Alaska. It's really strange.
Cody, you knew there was 1,000-pound man. You knew this question. Tell me you have TLC.
No.
No. Well, there's no way. That's so many states.
How many is it How many is it illegal in, Hays? You said you were going to say that.
What's the other 33 something it was? So that leaves what? No, is that 50? No, it would be 31.
So 31 it's illegal, and then 19 are like, yeah, it's good.
Correct. Can you do an honorable mention? What is the closest state to Minnesota you can marry your cousin? Or can you marry your cousin in Minnesota?
No, he said you can't here.
I don't think you can, but I think it's like possible. I believe it was South Dakota, maybe.
Probably.
That makes sense.
That would make sense.
That makes sense. I would say Dakota.
For sure.
So that's really, really fucked up, man. I didn't like that at all. Got Bart with 3.5, Honor with 2, Sobi with 2.5. So I mean, it's a pretty tight race here. The bonus question could
come and play.
Oh, man,
should I make it 2 or? Yeah, I should make it 2 points.
You said it was 2 at the beginning. We can't be changing rules.
Come on, let's make it 3. Let's make it.
You want?
No.
All right, Hays. Question 9. What do you got?
Question 9. How many wins did the Minnesota Timberwolves have last season, not counting the playoffs? The regular season is 82 games. How many wins did they have last season?
Show me your hands, Bart. Show me your hands.
How many wins did they have last season? 82 games. How many wins did the Minnesota Timberwolves have last season? I believe they were second best in the West, or maybe third.
Third. Yeah. They were the 3 seed. 60.
Bart said 60?
Yep.
Okay. 82 game season. Remember that.
Yep. I want to. Can I?
No, done.
Done. Your hands
That's
are
fine.
down.
I feel. I know I'm very close with that answer.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it me or Cody?
No,
It's
so
you.
Oh, I'm going 58.
58. So
That stuck out in
Dang.
my head.
Dang.
You gonna split it in between?
Honestly, I was kind of thinking about it. Because you said 60, Bart, 58. Oh, 61. 61.
61, Hunter? 61?
Yep.
All right. So the correct answer is 56. So
Dang.
Damn it.
Oh yeah.
must be he must be a fan. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Ant. Shout out OG Cat.
I was trying to think of how many they lost, and I thought it was
Yeah.
22 or 23, and I was like, I think it's 59 or 60. But then I was like, I don't remember seeing a huge like blow up over social of winning 60 games. So I was like, it's in the 50s, but I don't know where.
Yeah. So so we actually do have a two-way tie between Sobi and Bart, 3.5.
But
Heading into the 10th question.
But if Hunter gets this right, he could win.
This is the 10th question. We're not
10th
Oh,
question.
we're not
there yet.
You need to perform, brother.
I do need to step up the game here.
You can tell he's rusty. He hasn't been on the pod in a while.
No.
You know?
No.
Should
Gotta get my head in the game.
Should I change hats for the rest of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
How the hell did that come up? Okay.
Oh, yes.
All right. Love it.
Feel like it's...
How big is that bucket? That's a tall bucket. That looks like a bucket that has a measurement to it when you bought it.
Did you wear that to a Montana wedding?
I did, yeah. Yeehaw, buddy. All right, here we go. Question number 10. How many keys does a piano have? How many keys does a piano have? If you're playing the piano, how many keys on it?
God, such a switch up.
God damn it. Hayes is so good at
He's
this.
so good at trivia, dude. He could run Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, man.
All right, Sobi.
I start this?
Yeah.
No. Oh my gosh, I hate that I start this one.
No,
No, it is Sobi because I guessed first last for the Timberwolves season.
Hahner.
No, it wouldn't. It's Sobi. I literally guessed first.
I start, then Bart goes next, then Hahner.
Oh, okay.
No, you started, then Hahner went, then I went.
Oh.
It's you, Sobi.
Cody's laying in the weeds right now.
Because he knows it's Sobi.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to say
He's on a piano. Think about it.
I did take 2 years of lessons back into Dizzy.
No, you didn't.
Oh yeah.
I took piano lessons as well.
I'm gonna say 82 keys.
God damn it. That's literally the number I was thinking of.
So you have to up him or down him.
Well, Hahner's up next.
Why does that sound right though?
I know.
We could be way off. But it kind of sounds right.
No.
Are you going to punt Cody and say 82 as well? What if I'm dead ass on?
No, I don't think that's it. I know it's a lot though. I know you're pretty close, I think.
Did you guys all take lessons or?
No.
Well, Hahner's the next guess. What do you got, Hahner?
87.
87, says Hahner.
Oh, I really don't like that.
Oh, I don't know what I'd do if I was Bart.
88.
Oh, he's playing the game.
I think you got it right.
Could be 112.
I think it was 2 numbers back to back.
The correct answer is 88.
Oh,
No way.
Thing is, now the last question will decide the match.
No way. Bart, what did you get?
set me up perfectly.
Oh my gosh, it's 88.
We got 4.5 for Bart, 3.5 for Sobi, 2 for Hahner.
God damn, we're fucking good for knowing nothing about any of this.
Yeah,
stuff.
dude,
We've been
yeah.
really close.
I was proud. I was proud we got that close to the piano.
Come on.
Hahner nailed the cousin marrying statistic. Like, come on, this is pretty good.
Bart riding my coattails.
All right, what's the bonus question, Hays?
You guys know I'm a music connoisseur.
Oh boy. How many Christmas songs?
That's a legendary trivia question.
That was a legendary trivia question that we were not remotely close to correct.
How many Christmas albums does Young Jeezy or Gucci Mane have? All right. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
That bucket hat's electric.
How many top 100 charted Billboard top 100 charted songs does rapper Young Jeezy have? Some of these songs include Love in This Club featuring Usher, Soul Survivor featuring Akon, and My Hitter featuring YG and Rich Homie Quan. Rest in peace.
R.I.P. Rich Homie Quan.
How many top 100 hits?
Who's first?
I think Cody.
I think it's Cody, yeah. And he needs this.
Oh, shoot, Cody.
How many top 100s?
Oh,
150.
I believe Jeezy's career began in 2000, like 3 or 4, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of his popular songs were back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys listen to Jeezy at all, but he refers to himself as Jeezy now, not Young Jeezy.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, that's because he's not young anymore.
The Snowman, they call him.
Why? Why do they call him that?
Right, a little bit of snow, buddy.
65.
Hunter's going 65
with top 150s.
Top 100s.
Top 100.
That's a lot of songs.
I mean, you got his discography. I think had like I don't know how many songs in it. Lots, but
dude, cranked music.
I think I don't know how hard it is to crack. I mean, I could give you an example. I guess I can't. No, I can't.
No, you can't anymore.
You can't.
Even though I would love it. What was your guess, Hunter?
65. And I don't think his career is over yet, I guess.
I'm going to go 43.
43. And so that leaves Sobi with either jumping in the middle, above, or below. So we've got a 43 from Bart and a 65 from Hahner. Young Jeezy, top 25.
Top 100s. You keep changing the number.
Young Jeezy. That 65 seems like a lot, but what's in the dead center of 65 and 43?
Oh, goodness gracious.
You have to do that math, Sobi.
What is it?
I think it's somewhere in the 50s, obviously.
Somewhere in the 50s.
But you have to choose. So Billboard top.
You know what? No, I'm going 66. 66.
Come on, bro.
Boom.
I'm just kidding. I am just kidding.
I'm going 66.
Straight.
So Young Jeezy actually has 25.
Oh, damn it.
So Bart takes it with 43. That's the closest.
Oh, Cody totally threw me off, dude. I was thinking
I know.
I was thinking more
See,
40,
the only reason
40.
I even went 43 was I was sitting here. Cody went so high. I was like, am I thinking about this wrong?
It's a lot.
Because
I
I would
apparently
have
was
guessed in
not.
the 20s if I was first.
So I think that getting in the top Billboard 100s is difficult. So T Grizzly, he's a rapper. He's been around about 7 or 8 years. He's only got 3 in the top.
Gotta get your mind right.
So Hazer,
No
what was the final scores?
one-
I would like to hear the final scores from trivia with Hays.
Bart ended with 6.5, Sobi 3.5, Hahner 2.
Dang.
Seems like some domination.
Bart kind of, Bart did
I
rise.
think I was just at a disadvantage at this one. Two men teaming up against me.
All I
Chris won.
remember is you
Yeah.
got like nothing right except for the states you can marry your cousin. That's all I'm taking away from
I was just thinking my days below the Mason-Dixon. I'm like, well, that state probably not. Yeah, that definitely is one of those states. Yes.
I gotta get frame to get you guys to sign them.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you got to keep
those.
those. We'll keep those for PTB memorabilia for some people down the roads. We'll have some Hays trivia.
Maybe we could do an auction someday. That would be a good
Yeah.
auction piece.
It would.
And I think we need to number it. We got to go back and figure out which number trivia this is with Hays. Is this 5 or 6?
Dude, I have no idea. It's been a while.
I think this is the 4th.
4th. Okay.
Very nice.
Was the first one the infamous Christmas albums one?
Yeah. Was that the first one?
Yeah, I think it was it was one of
great.
it was maybe like our
That was
5th
great.
podcast. If you're new to this podcast within the last year and you haven't listened to our first like 7 episodes, you missed out on some wild stuff before we kind of figured out what the gray line to ride of what we can actually talk about. There are some interesting things in those first few podcasts.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Including you can hear how many Christmas albums Gucci Mane has, correct, Hazer?
Yeah, I think the correct answer was like 6 or some shit.
Can you name them?
East Atlanta Santa.
East Atlanta Santa 1, East Atlanta Santa 2.
Definitely like 3 of them. And then, I mean,
I'm just reading them off.
It seriously is the
I'm
best
sure there's
album
12.
name of all time.
Yeah.
I just got to bring this up for old time's sake. I'll find it real quick.
Oh man.
I do have to say, like, when I sit down to figure out the questions, it takes me about an hour or 45 minutes, and it's whatever pops in my head, to be honest.
I like it.
I have no form.
All right, I'll read through a few of these for
formal
you guys.
training.
I don't know the actual answer, but I got East Atlanta Santa, East Atlanta Santa 2, East Atlanta Santa 3,
Yeah.
So Icy Christmas,
Yeah, so
One.
yeah.
The Return of East Atlanta Santa.
Oh, yeah.
So
That
was
actually
before.
came out between East Atlanta Santa 2 and East Atlanta Santa 3. The Return came out in between.
This is not real.
Just beautiful. All right. Hayes, you got any final thoughts to tell the people?
Yeah, talk about a little fishing before you leave. I know you've been on kind of a bass bender post walleye total mortality.
Yeah, so I've been chasing. We actually did go muskie fishing like 4 days ago, and buddy JB got himself a 45-incher in the figure 8, which was
Heck
cool.
yeah.
Over on Lake Waconia.
Nice.
And I guess there's a lot of muskies in there. I didn't even know that, but
Yes, there are.
Bart, have you caught some bassing out there or what?
Yeah, actually, yeah. You see them quite a bit, to be honest, out of any lakes you fish. Yeah, there's a lot of muskies in there. There's a lot of pressure out there, too, but there's a lot of muskies and there's a lot of really big muskies.
Yeah.
Is it a good bass fisher or tough?
Fantastic bass fishery.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, if it's the wrong day, it can be really, really, really hard, but it's a very good bass lake, yeah.
So, yeah, so we did that. Otherwise, I've just been bassing a lot out towards Annandale. And, I think what's happened the last couple of days have been really hard. I think we got turnover happening right now.
That was what I was saying. I live out by Annandale now, Hayes, and I was saying that at the beginning. I went bass fishing on like Thursday last week, and I called Sobi and we were chatting. He's like, "How's the bass?" And I'm like, "Terrible. I'm not going to catch bass today." He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "The lake is 100% in the middle of turnover currently. One side of it's clear, the other's piss green. Like, this isn't good."
I will say though, and I saw this last year when I was bass fishing. Right after we had a couple like real hard frosts, or like it was really cold at night, like 32. The real super shallow water bite was good. And interestingly enough, the only bites I got today bass fishing was on a regular frog and a popping frog in like 6 inches or a foot of water. So like dirt shallow.
Wow.
Those were the only.
Yeah. That's awesome.
That's cool.
But Bart, we've had some really good days right after the turnover. Like we've had some good days catching bass when it was snowing out, largemouth.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Some of the best bites of my life.
Somewhat shallow or no?
No, like the first day they like after turnover, it seems like sometimes they'll go to the rocks for like 1 to 3 days randomly.
All of them.
Literally all of them. And then it's
to the shallows to feed.
And then they all leave. Yeah.
I hit up buddy Aaron Teal, and he was kind of pointing me around. I was fishing around like the horseshoe chain where he grew up, and that was good over there. We caught him pretty good. And then like recently, the last 3-4 days have been, I'm only getting like 6 to 10 bites a day.
Has brother Teal been catching them deep, shallow, or in between?
He won't spit it up.
Come on. Shout out Bass Galaxy. Shout out Aaron Teal.
Yeah, another great podcast. But
yeah, we love Teal.
But yeah, bassing. I'm gonna continue bassing. We got to go on a harvest mission tomorrow night though, because buddy JB's got a fish fry coming up, so we got to knife a few for some girl's birthday parties, frying fish for, of course. Right?
Look at you being a quality guide.
I'm gonna have to strap on my walleye boots again, unfortunately. Then I'm gonna ride down to the dirty south around Sobi and do some bassing at some point.
There you go. That'll be fun. All righty, Hayes. Thank you for hopping on.
Yeah, thank you so much. And if any of you want to book a trip with Hayes, either in the summer or even potentially the spring on Minnetonka, or maybe even a random ice trip, how do we hit you up, Hayes?
Hit me up on the Instagram, hays.baldwin, Facebook, Hays Baldwin, or my phone, 612-419-4828. And hey,
get that out.
Yeehaw, we'll see you on the water.
I love it.
Thank you so much, Hayes. Oh man,
dude, friggin', I love it. Guides, they're just like, here's my phone number. I don't care.
I don't care where it's at. Call
10
it,
out of
please.
10.
I should do that with Sobi one of these days.
Yes.
Oh, Hayes is 10 out of 10, dude. 10 out of 10. Trivia,
that was fantastic. That was a wonderful little segment we had there. All right. Now jumping from our boy Hayes and a little bit of trivia. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything here. We won't. I don't think we'll keep our guests waiting. So, what do you think?
Yeah, bring him in. Wait till Hahner's here, and then let's bring.
Oh, we got to wait till Hahner's back. Okay. Well, then we'll really brief. Oh, you're leaving too, so I'm just talking to an audience of nobody. Hayes, come back here. Save me. All right, Hayes is back.
The last time we did this, I actually sat and watched the damn thing for like 40 minutes.
Yeah, I know. You can totally do that. How rude of them to just literally both get up and leave. I'm by myself.
I'm still here, buddy, and I'm going down half a breadstick.
You're going down half a breadstick?
Probably.
Do you do any more ice guide trips or no? I had to bring Hayes back in. You just left me here.
Oh, sorry.
What am I supposed to do? Monologue?
Had a good bathroom break. You bring old Hazer back in. I love it.
All right, Hazer. All right. Thanks for saving me. You're a real one. All right. We'll bring our guest in now. All right, Sobi, a little bit of an introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the top of the mountain. Tonight, we have a very special guest. We have the newest member to the Bassmaster Elite Series and the EQ's Angler of the Year, Easton Fothergill. Dang. Congratulations, dude. The biggest of congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
So Easton, the one thing I have to do leading this off, so I had to go back and double check this. You were on the podcast with us in the spring. It was the end of May. And I looked, and since then, you won your next Open, and then you won on Leech, and then you won another 50 grand for winning Angler of the Year. So I think what we're all wondering is, when do we get our portion of that for the bump?
Yeah, I would say, yeah. It was truly, you coming on here was a good omen, and in good faith, I think you should donate to Past The Barb. No,
I think 5% is totally fair. We can start the bidding there. Is that fair?
Have you purchased anything since you've won cash money prizes?
Not yet. I'm planning on the first purchase will be that truck that I've been driving around all year. I'm going to buy that back. So that'll be the first purchase.
Nice.
How many miles you put on that Toyota? So, like, obviously with winning the college bracket last year, you got to run a Toyota around all year. How many miles are on that after a full Open season? And then, I mean, you did college events too, the whole deal. What did you put on that thing?
Oh, it had 17 when I got it, and now it's got, I just hit 56. So
Jeez.
Dang.
Like 40,000?
40,000.
Nice. That's a fun year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You didn't buy the girlfriend a new pair of earrings or a necklace or something? Come on. Don't be lying.
Not yet. We'll get there.
I think the fun thing is he gets actually his first big purchase, Easton, is going to be your Elite Series entry fees in approximately 2 or 3 weeks.
Then maybe some decent earrings. Well, once you get past that $500,000 mark,
No, that's awesome. No, Easton, thank you for coming back on. I know we're pumped to chat with you, just kind of about everything that went on this year and catch up with you and do a little bit of weigh-in to Ender. But I guess so. Last time we talked, we also need to check on this. Last time we talked, we were watching the Wolves win Game 7 of that series, I believe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kind of fell apart after that. So maybe we took all the Wolves luck and gave it to you and it ended up working out. I don't know. But are you happy with the Wolves trade? How are you feeling about the season? What do we got going on coming up here?
I'm super happy with the Wolf trade. I think it was a great trade for us. I'm more happy for Dante than I am for Julius, but I don't know. Cat he's a super good player, don't get me wrong, but it's just some of the decisions he made on the court was just like, what are you doing? And I felt like he brought us down, like, too much, I would say. So,
Do you think he was an emotional player? I'm not a huge basketball dude, but every time I watch him, he seems so emotional. He seemed wishy-washy. He'd get in a bad mood. It seems like as soon as Cat was in Cat's head, it was done.
Would shut the whole team down. Yeah.
When he was rolling,
and Julius is also he's just a menace on the court. So I think that'll just help the tenacity of our team.
Yeah, I would agree. I think having a good shooting guard or a good shooting guard, not shooting guard. That is not working. Having Dante on the court with Anthony Edwards will be very, very good compared to having another post that pulls out or whatever. Like we have Nasri to do that. So I'm very excited about the season as well for that. But diving into a little bit of fishing, going through the rest of your season. Obviously, when we talked to you last time, I think you were you leading Angler of the Year when we talked to you last time, or were you in the top like 5? I think you were around top 5.
Follow, right? I think I was 3rd going into follow.
Okay. So going into Eufaula, I guess for me, being from Minnesota, I was being a fan of wanting to see you make the Elite Series. I think all of us in Minnesota were like, how will Easton do in Oklahoma? Because Cody and I have talked relentlessly on this podcast about how much we hate Grand Lake.
Really?
I know you had a good time there in the Classic. Just explain to me that maybe we can ask him, Hahner. He won Angler of the Year and, fished a Classic there and all the stuff. So me and Hahner have wanted to know, when everybody says the rocks are different, explain, because they all look the exact same.
A rock's a rock. I don't know how a rock is different.
Well, like they're like, look at the transition banks. They look different, and it's like, what? They're all bluffs. They're all bluffs or like chunk rock. There's not differences that people speak to. So, and Cody and I are just used to getting about 2 bites a day there, right, Hahner?
Yeah, I mean the one time I was there, it was like 3 fish in 2 days got a check. So yeah, it was.
In the fall.
No, that was actually in March. We were there for
Really?
tour event.
Yeah.
It was horrible, terrible. I think Jeremy Lawyer is a local one with like 14 pounds a day, getting like 5 bites a day on a spinner bait. But well, it was bad. Wasn't good.
Anyways, leading into Oklahoma, we were curious how Eufaula would be. How was Eufaula? How did that play set up? Like, I guess in regards to a Minnesotan, what's Eufaula like?
Eufaula is basically a mud puddle with an occasional rock pile and lots of standing timber.
It sounds like where Sobi lives.
Yeah.
Southern Minnesota.
But no, the first day with the 5 days of practice, basically how I broke it down was the first day every week or every tournament. I would use the first day just to basically drive around the whole lake and just look at watercolor and that sort of thing and just get a lay of the land. So I did that day one at Eufaula.
Okay, Easton, so not to cut you off on that, but I'm curious on that because I've heard you talk about this on a few podcasts before. So on day one, like, are you literally just like going 40 miles an hour, like around the whole lake all day? Like, are you fishing a little bit or like, and like, say there, what made you get into an area and be like, ooh, I like it here, or this feels good, or you get what I mean? Like, it's easy to say, oh, I just drove around the lake and looked at stuff. I've found myself doing that before. And then at the end of the day, I'm like, did I accomplish anything? Where it seems like you accomplish stuff when you do that. So can you dive into that a little bit for me?
Yeah, I guess what I did there or what led me to my area was strictly watercolor. There, everything is bright orange colored water except for 3 or 4 different creeks. And obviously, being from Minnesota, I love clear water. So those are instantly the creeks I gravitated to. So I drove around the whole lake and just basically found the clearest water I could. And, when I found the clear water, I instantly just started graphing around and seeing, how much rock there is, how much timber there is, just trying to get a lay of the land, just start marking stuff. I did fish a little bit day one, after I felt like I had a good kind of grasp on how the lake's set up. And it didn't take long after I started graphing around and found some stuff that I liked that I started catching fish and started putting a pattern together pretty quick. So, but that's, Okeechobee, I literally didn't fish day one, but like, it just depends on like Logan Martin. You can't do that for a full day. The lake's just not big enough. But I don't know. That's just how I approached practice. But going back to Eufaula, like I said, there was just a couple of clear creeks, and then I found some rock piles, and I realized really quickly that there's not much rock in there. It's pretty much all mud and just occasional rock pile, rock vein, that sort of thing.
Are those rock piles like on hard bottom, or are they rock piles in mud?
It was usually a rock pile in mud.
Really? Yeah. So that looks insane on side imaging.
Yeah.
You don't find those very often up here, but every once in a while I see one and I'm like, what?
Yeah. No, it lit up like I don't know, it was like a light bulb sitting on your side imaging. But I realized really quickly also that, with it being like that, every rock pile is going to get found and that sort of thing. And then, I further dialed it in just because I feel like I'm better than most of the field at understanding what's a bass and what's not on my forward facing. Just because in that lake is so much trash fish. Like there's carp, there's literally every trash fish you can imagine in that lake. And there's like, it's just littered with them, thousands and thousands of them. So I really think that's what separated myself in the end of the day is just, I'm able to still cover water with my live scope and pick out the bass over all the trash fish.
That's a huge advantage, especially being in the South.
Yeah.
If anyone's ever fished down there, you will know how much just fish are in these lakes. I mean, there's every species of carp and God knows what.
There's just stuff moving 24/7.
Everywhere. They're extremely healthy and fertile places to fish for anything. If you had live bait, you could catch every fish on your poster that you have at home. No doubt.
So Easton, did you gain that ability from fishing up here around home, or is that from college?
That's from
Lay
college.
Lake.
Yeah.
Lay Lake, Coosa
Had to
River.
be.
Dang.
Had to be.
Yeah, I've spent a little bit of time on Lay, and yeah, that would make sense.
That's where Montebello is.
Yeah, I'm 20 minutes from Lay Lake.
Okay. Okay. Out of all of Alabama, which were your kind of like favorite bodies of water to actually target? Or
That's what I was going to ask too. Like, just because you're so close to Lake, does that make it one of your favorite lakes near there, or do you have other favorite mainstay lakes?
My favorite's got to be Gunnersville, but
Yeah.
it's just over 2 hours away. So, I only make that trip a couple times a month if I'm
Right,
lucky.
being a
just 'cause
college
it's so
kid.
far. Yeah.
Yep. Understandable.
The closest, in range lake, I would say is my favorite is definitely Lay Lake.
Yeah. Interesting. And are you like, I don't even know how old you are. I was telling Bart, I've seen your name so many times now that I figured you were actually already on the Elite Series and just some guy who is wearing his college jersey fishing the Elite Series. But how old are you, Easton? Are you a senior in college, junior, sophomore?
I graduated in May. I'm 22.
Okay. And would you say how much going to school in the South, how big of an advantage was that for you moving from the North and being able to fish pretty much all year long as much as you wanted living in the South?
I mean, it's 100% without a doubt, like the sole reason why I'm having the success I am. Like, without a doubt, it wouldn't be possible going straight from the North and jumping into the opens. Like, it's not possible.
Right.
So,
This is the age-old question that always gets asked, and I think you're probably the perfect person who can answer this now. Is it easier to go from north and learn down south, or from south and learn up north?
I think it's easier to go from north to south, just because, my house in Grand Rapids, I got access to literally everything except tidal fisheries, like muddy water, clear water, smallmouth, largemouth, rocks, grass, literally everything without fluctuating water. That's the only thing I don't have access to. So, I can go basically anywhere in the South and have that light bulb go off pretty dang quick after you get a grasp on everything around my house. So I would say definitely easier going north to south.
That's true.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's been brought up a ton. I know Pangrax brought it up a bunch, and I've kind of always thought. I also thought that going from north to south, what helped you a lot too was you're so used to getting bites that you seek bites so much harder than like when southern guys come up north and they're getting bites. They're like, oh, this is good. Well, they're catching 3.1s. And they need to be catching 3.6s or whatever that is. I think going from north to south, just the ratio you're used to getting bites helps you seek out bites a lot more, I feel like.
Yeah, and to piggyback off that, when I went down to school for my first year, I absolutely hated throwing a crankbait, and it's like the most popular bait in the South. So I went back up north and went home for the summer, and I locked a crankbait in my hand and, started firing it across rock piles and stuff and start, just destroying the largemouth and stuff. And then from then on, it's like one of the first baits I pick up everywhere I go is a crankbait.
Really?
So that just goes to show just getting bites on it will give you confidence, and then you can take it anywhere you go and, start getting bit on it.
Yeah, you can learn new techniques so much quicker up here because you can just gain confidence in them so rapidly. That helps a lot. So going back to Eufaula, Easton. So then when you get to the tournament, did you I remember you caught a freak on the last day, but what were you focusing on throwing, or I guess, what are the emotions like going through and, winning an open? Like, you'd won the bracket and stuff before, but I feel like, did you really have a feeling that you would win your first open in Oklahoma of all places? You know what I mean? Like, kind of how did that transpire?
Yeah, going into that one, that was actually between that one and St. Clair were the two I was most worried about on the schedule all year long. People wouldn't think St. Clair, but just because St. Clair you can catch 19 pounds, you're not doing anything, so that's a scary one. But you fall out just the way it sets up was really scary to me, just because I knew how tough it would be, and those ones are really easy to bomb. So, but even with that 8-pounder on the last day, I still didn't think I won. Like, it just didn't register in my head like how far an 8-pounder would go in that tournament. I was just so worried about getting as many EQ points as I possibly could that the win never even, it never even came in my head. But I guess my pattern that week was I was actually fishing underwater bluff walls. It'd be on the edge of like flats. It would be like 12, 15 feet, and then it would just drop like a wall down to like 25 or 30. And it would have kind of basketball-sized boulders just right on the crest of that, bluff wall.
Mm-hmm.
And there'd be packs of 3 to 10 fish and just wolf packing up and down those stretches.
Huh.
And I was picking those off all of the Nico rig.
Dang.
Interesting.
So,
Gotcha.
Very
So
cool.
then I suppose you're just sifting through rough fish and stuff on your live scope and everything the whole time.
oh yeah, and these fish, they don't, other than one 5-pounder I caught on day 2, that's the only suspended one I caught. All the rest of them were glued to bottom.
So they're just rumbling along down there, and you're like, I don't know, could be bass, could be buffalo. I
Mhm.
think bass. Chuck
Every
at
once in
it.
a while, there'd be a little pack of them just, cruising right on the bottom, and one would like lift up just for a brief second, like he saw something, and then go back down. And that's like my number one indicator. That's a bass. Carp and stuff usually don't change altitude in the water, is what I call it. So as soon as I ever see that on a fish, I'm thinking bass as soon as I see that on my live scope.
Gotcha. So coming into weigh in there, I mean, obviously end up winning that one. You never thought, even with the 8-pounder, you would have a shot to win it?
No, I had that big one, and I had 2 really small ones in my bag, and I was thinking like I need one more bite to have a shot, and I pushed it right to the very last minute in that tournament. It was really rough on the lake and everything, and I was just really pushing my luck, trying to get one more bite, just because I didn't think I won it yet. Like I thought I was one bite away still.
Okay, cool. So then winning Eufaula, and then now you're leading Angler of the Year, and we're heading to the northern stretch, which you said you were worried about St. Clair. I guess I was like, Easton's going to catch him at St. Clair just because I've seen you smallmouth fish so many times. I'm like, Easton just runs into smallmouth. That's what happens. But I kind of talked to these guys about what my experience at St. Clair was like after. I mean, had you ever been there before and fished there before? What did you kind of think of it? Because I don't know. I could piggyback a little bit on my experience. I thought it was a very different. It's very weird. But yeah, so kind of going into St. Clair, like you said, you were worried about that one. Why were you worried about it and all that?
I mean, I was worried just because I knew everyone would smash them all week long, and it's just nerve-wracking knowing that a 3 3/4 and a 4-pounder is like vastly different in that tournament. So, but I guess how my tournament went down is I kind of the first 2 days of practice, I kind of grabbed samples from every corner of the lake, just catching as many fish as I could, just sampling size. And my best size that I found ended up being Anchor Bay. So the last 3 days of practice, that's what I focused on. Just tried to find as many schools as I could in there.
Did you so like when you were going around the corners of the lake and stuff, did you run around and look at your high speed 2D most of the time to break down water, or were you one of the guys who just threw your trolling motor down, put her on 7, leaned back against your seat, and went, I'm going till I see something?
I'd use my high speed and just look for any subtle depth change I could, and then I'd go from there. That's how I was
cool.
breaking it down.
That's I mean, that's how I found my best spot out on the main lake. It was actually an area I ran over like probably 4 times, just like running out for practice and then going back in. And my 2D would be like, blurry or whatever because I'm going 40, and then all of a sudden it would go rock hard for a second, and then it would go blurry again. And I kept dropping dots on it whenever I went by. And then the last day of practice, I was like, I should probably check out this 1/4 mile area. And I caught like a 5 1/4 and a 4 1/2. I was like, holy cow, okay. But there wasn't a ton of them out there. It was like they were very rogue. Yeah, that place was very weird. But yeah, so Anchor Bay, what was crazy to me about Anchor Bay, I'd love for you to kind of explain the tournament because I'm sure you spent a ton of time in there then. I had heard all practice that Anchor Bay was going off. I went through Anchor Bay 4 times on 4 different lines, trolling motor on 10, just looking around, pitching, just trying to find anything that remotely moved like a bass or anything. And I never felt like I came across one. Even after day 1, when I knew all the mega bags came out of there, I had like almost 21 on day 1. I was still like, I'm not going in there because I never got a fish in there. I don't know where this is going down. Kind of what was that? Was it just like the right line, or how did that work in Anchor Bay?
I was just catching them on little sand spots in the grass. I had, I don't know, I would say 8 spots where I had a little pot of them. I would roll up there and there'd be 5 or 6 sitting there, and I'd catch, 1 to 3 of them, and then I'd leave and just go to the next one. And then I'd come back half hour later and there'd be some new ones sitting.
Are they super like shallower, or were you in that like 10 to 12 feet?
I was in the, I would say 8 to 14 foot range.
Okay. So anywhere kind of along that range.
Yeah.
Yeah, that place was wild.
Yeah.
And actually, this is intriguing. So Cody Hahner, back when you fished the FLW tour.
Yes, sir.
You top 20'd out there. Correct?
Yes. Yep. Top 10.
4 forward facing sonar.
Mm-hmm.
What was that? Yeah. So me and Jay Shakurit ran into each other in the service yard one day, and we were talking and like, how did they do this out here? And like, obviously I understand how you go around, you drift, you look for different weeds, you use your 2D and stuff. But what was that like out there? That was just what, 5 to 7 years ago?
Buoy pattern?
Yeah. No, not the buoy pattern. Yeah. I mean, I was trying to find differences. There's not like huge contour changes or anything out there, but I was using high speed 2D and high speed side imaging really just to find better patches of grass or livable patches of grass where I thought bass were using it, like something different in massive, quarter, half mile stretches. And I would just do big Z's where I think that helped me a lot in that tournament, because you'd see guys just idling. And I'm like, this is taking too long. Like, I got to speed this up, because the first day in practice, I burned an entire day doing that. And my boat at that time, you could go 35, 40 miles an hour. I could get 2D. And I just used that as like my eyes on the water, and then found as much as I found in practice and fished in the tournament. And it was good. Fishing spots at high percentage spots and catching a 4.5 or a 5 pounder on it and coming back to it in the tournament and running as many of those as I could. It's kind of how I did it.
Like, no doubt it's an awesome lake, and there's hog smallmouth there, but I feel bad for anybody that's like where they grew up, or that's their home water. I just feel like that would be no fun, dude. Like, I grew up on St. Clair. I'd be like, okay, what? I grew up fishing the Abyss. We caught smallmouth. I'm like, okay, what? Nothing.
You don't learn anything.
Yeah, you didn't. I don't know. I feel like it'd be a weird place to grow up.
Dude, yeah. In terms of catching and stuff, the one thing that was cool out there was once again, 3.5 pounders didn't matter out there, but I had like a 5 and a 4 3/4 on day 1. And I was just trying to get over 20 pounds, and I had like a 2 1/4 somehow in my live well. And there was a school of a bunch of 3 pounders in from me. And I was like, you know what, whatever. I'm just going to go weed through these things. I cannot tell you how much fun it is though, when you're in a school of like 150 of them. And you just like pan and you're like, there's one, pitch over, catch awesome. It immediately, pitch back, pitch back. But then after one day, they do not act that well. The one thing that threw me off there too, Easton, I'm sure you noticed that too. Maybe you have more experience with other Great Lakes, but I thought it was very weird there. My judge of size, I feel like, is very good on fish. Like, in terms of grabbing them, looking at their mouth, feeling them, being like, oh, this is about this, then put it on a scale and you're right. I was so wrong for the first 2 days, thinking that like I'd catch a 3 3/4 and I thought it was a 4 or a 4 1/4, because those fish are so long and all they do is eat minnows. So their mouths are like a 4-pound smallmouth on St. Clair's mouth is the size of a 3-pound largemouth in Minnesota, I think. Like, their mouths are enormous.
Wow.
Did you notice that too, or was that just me?
No, I definitely did. they got the frame of like an inland fish, like a Minnesota fish, but they're just, they're not dense. It's weird.
See, it's weird. When I was there, it was the opposite.
Really?
I think that lake really cycles like how fat the fish get, because I mean, there was never in that tournament after like my first spot. I remember it was Joey Cifuentes and I, is how we were fishing this spot together for the like a large part of the tournament, and we looked at each other like, there's no way we're not going to catch 20 pounds every single day. Like they're little bricks and they'd be 4 pounds even, 3 nines. Like there's absolutely no way. Where you got years like you guys had where they're long and lean. We had like bricky, Great Lakes looking smallmouth. I don't know.
Yeah. And I just don't know if that place is even better right now or guys are getting better, because the weights of that tournament for a post-spawn event were nuts.
Yeah.
Like I knew I was over 20, and coming in, I was like, okay, like based on elite series and stuff like that, like I think I should be sitting around last check or like 35th. And I think I had like 20 and a half, and I was sitting in like 55th after day one or something like that. I was like, there's a nice pat on the back. But then, day two.
Oh, yeah. That lake is crazy for 20-pound bags. Unbelievable.
Yeah. But
Absolutely
okay,
unbelievable.
So you ended up squeaking through St. Clair. Did you get the last check there?
I tied for the last check, but lost the tiebreaker.
Oh,
Bummer. I feel so bad.
Could have been 182. Damn.
Okay, so then we come back home, and I think this is a really interesting one I kind of wanted to chat with you about. Obviously, we come to Leech, and I mean, I think the whole field knew. We were like, okay, we're chasing Easton. And how did that feel kind of going into that event? Like in terms of one, it is your home, it's your home playground. We've had Minnesota events there. The smallmouth thing is very new there in terms of the tournaments. There's not, there was probably 5 of us in the field that had ever fished a smallmouth event there. It was like you, me, Leesburg, Joey Titus, and
Tuma,
and then Whiting was there. He ended up getting in. Like there was less than 10. I know that.
Yeah.
So going into that, like, I guess, what was your mentality and stuff going into that event, knowing that target on back, like nobody knows anything about this place? How were you approaching it and stuff?
I guess, I don't know. I've spent so much time out there over the years, and then pre-practice up until it went off limits, I was out there pretty much every day I could. Every day I was home. So going into the tournament, knowing that everyone knew that it was my home lake, I didn't even look at smallmouth stuff all of practice. I just went and played with the largemouth, played in the milfoil, which, the milfoil is kind of new, so it's kind of fun to go dial that bite in. Well, but I don't. It was really hard to do, just knowing that, just wondering how much of my stuff's getting found and how many of my fish are getting caught all of practice. It was definitely kind of nerve-wracking, I guess you could say. Just, I don't know, it was so hard for me not to go out there and just ride around and see what guys are fishing, but I knew that would just mess with my head bad, just like going around the tournament, just knowing that, someone probably caught the one that sits here, someone caught that one. I'm definitely really glad that I completely stayed away from everything.
Well, Easton, I will say, I'm going to say you are a liar for one portion of this, because I did run into you in the middle of the lake on day one of practice. But that was when I would imagine you also noticed there was 2 boats on the whole main lake on day one of practice of Leech. And I was like, where is everybody right now? Because it was like glass calm out there. There was no waves, nothing.
Right.
And yeah, it was like the only people I'd seen out there was like Rasmussen, Tucker Smith, me, and then I saw you. But I just laughed because I was like, I have never seen a human being check so many spots so incredibly rapidly as Easton just did. And he was just burning so fast. And it was at like 6:37 at night, and you were flying.
I was just going to say, if I felt like I could at night, I would go check some stuff. If I felt like people wouldn't see me, I would do that. But
yeah, I waved at you. I was like, hey.
I still don't recognize your boat. It
Yeah.
blends in with so many other Caymases. I don't know which one's you ever.
Yeah, it's okay. It didn't matter anyways. The one, it didn't matter. I never got him out there anyways.
So
but
your main approach was, I'm going to dial in plan B and then just run with your gut and your heart and your memories on plan A. And
let's be real. Was the largemouth ever even plan B? Were you ever going to do that?
I had him in the boat. I had him ready to go. I really didn't know what to expect. So I did have the largemouth rods with in case I needed them.
Okay. So,
what do you think you could have caught for largemouth? Had you just largemouth fish day 1 and day 2, what do you think you would have had day 1 and day 2? You strictly just largemouth fish off what you found.
I mean, I had a little over 21, 2 days of practice of all largemouth. So, but I mean,
it seemed like that largemouth bite died really hard after that storm came through on day 1 too.
I was just gonna say with the pressure and largemouth seemed to be really touchy for me, at least on that lake. Doing it in practice versus a tournament on that lake is two completely different things. So I don't know, high teens maybe is what I would expect.
Okay.
So talking about that, so practice ends, you spend all your time not looking around. My regret is not doing something more similar to that. I patrolled the lake the whole time, seeing where people were and trying to make a game plan around that. Which then my whole game plan got thrown in a wrench by day 1 getting canceled. Curious, what were your thoughts on day 1 getting canceled?
Or were you pumped?
No, I was upset. I was thinking that was going to be my day to really separate myself from everyone. Just, knowing how to fish big water and that sort of thing. I was really excited to get out there.
I would say I wasn't excited as Easton to go out there in the big water, but I was excited for that day of wind because I knew what it was going to look like out there from having fished events out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so calm in practice that none of those guys got any sniff of what that lake gets like when it gets up. And I was hoping for that little bit of an advantage to know what areas I should go hit, where I could go and still fish that people couldn't. And I'm sure that's kind of what your plan was too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it would have been the same as always. I just hit a bunch of water as fast as I can. And, just obviously with the waves, you got to take your time and it's a lot harder to do it efficiently, but my plan would have been the same as always, just hit as many places as possible.
Do you think, if it was blowing that hard in the morning, like it would have been because it would have been a southeast that morning.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the first team. Were you in that team trail there? Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
The first one we fished there, that Travis one.
Yep.
So saying it was like that and everything, how many business decisions do you think would have got made at Stony Point that day?
I mean, probably close to half, I would say.
Yeah, I agreed, actually. I was telling Pangrak that going into it. He's like, dude, these are the EQ guys. They go everywhere. And I'm like, bro, you haven't been to Stony Point when it's blowing out of the southeast that hard.
Yeah, but at the same time, a lot of those guys just don't care about their stuff. They'll go tear it up. They don't care. So, I don't know.
No.
I thought that was our day to see a boat get sunk.
That would have been, although it wasn't as bad as they were saying it was going to be. So.
No, and that's what really sucked, because then it didn't get blowing until noon the next day, and I was like, God dang it, we could have gone around and done everything.
Mm-hmm.
So then going into day 2, okay, like I had said, my plan gets screwed because I had planned on fishing windy stuff on day 1, and then day 2 I was going to run to some other stuff that couldn't get fished. Did your game plan change then, or did you just go, no, I'm doing this, I know what I'm doing, and this is how I'm rolling?
I guess the wind was south, so I started on the south end just because I knew it wouldn't be blown out nearly as bad. So I just started there and basically just started doing a whole loop around the lake. And, I got to the north end around, I think it was like 10:30, and it was pretty blown out. I was kind of upset about that. So I checked 2 or 3 spots up there, and they were all like only 2 foot clarity, and the fish just weren't acting right. So I pulled the plug on that. And I went back to the south end and kind of finished the day down there. But game plan didn't change. Still running water.
Gotcha. So I guess maybe explain to Hahner and Sobi. You can explain it to me too, because I didn't catch 5 each day. But why do you think those fish are actually the hardest fish to get to bite in the country? Because you heard it from several guys who fished that event, how difficult it is to actually get them to bite. And I know you caught more than a lot of us did, and you've dialed it in, but kind of what's your theory on that? Because it is really hard to get those fish to bite.
It has to be the amount of forage in that lake. Like, I mean, I've been fishing that lake for, as long as I've been alive, and the fish have always been like that, even before anyone ever fished for them. So it's not pressure. It's got to be something with the forage. Whether it's, they feed on a lot of small shiners out there, which can be hard to imitate. So it could be that, or it's just they're always stuffed full and don't want to eat. So it's one of those 2 options.
And there's certain days it seems like out there too where they're just biting.
Right.
And honestly, that kind of sucked too. I'm day 1 and day 2 of practice, they bit really, really, really good from what everybody had said. I mean, I didn't stick very many because I knew what was going on, but it was unlike any practice I've had there where, like, you throw at a spot or a boulder or a rock seam, whatever it is. And normally you're used to them going and looking and being a little weird. And you're like, oh, maybe he'll bite, maybe he won't. Every single one was just like, floor it, eat it halfway down. And you're like, this is not good. It was bad until, they were really eating until day 2. I think I heard one guy caught like 27 3/4 on the first day of practice.
Wow.
And then, so I guess day 1, you had almost 27, didn't you?
Yeah, just under.
Did you think you could do that with that many boats out there? Or was it just like magical day you caught a ton and called up? Or like, how the heck did that go down?
I mean, I've caught that big plenty of times out there, by myself. But yeah, with that many boats, I did not think that was possible. So I had 2 6-pounders in my bag, which obviously goes a long ways. And then I don't know, that day was just like the most perfect fishing day I've ever had. Like, just every absolute giant I saw, on my live scope, it bit, and it's just everything went perfectly. No, I did lose 1 fish that would have helped, but other than that, just perfect fishing day.
Did you run into many people, or did it just depend on where you went, kind of?
There wasn't a boat on any spot that I wanted to fish all day.
That's awesome.
And you could probably add to this too, Easton. I thought that it spread out a lot better than I thought it would.
Other than Huddle's Reef and Stony Point, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, there were a couple other portions that, like, for an hour or 2 it would get a little packed, but then it move on. But I mean, you could kind of go wherever you wanted, and it was weird like that. My results didn't necessarily show that, but you could go pull up to, for the most part, wherever you wanted to most of the day. And it was just, had a fish seen a bait yet? Was it ready? Or, just kind of a thing out there. Have you ever caught one out there going back to a boulder after you have fished it, or a rock spot?
Oh, absolutely.
Just give them a while.
That 6 1/4 I caught him the 3rd time I checked him.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess people saw it on live, and I think one of the main talks afterwards was people were surprised by how shallow you were fishing. Was that like a based on the conditions type thing, you think, or were you trying to avoid people, or kind of was that part of the strategy? Can you fill us in a little bit on that?
That was kind of the game plan. The big ones do generally, when the sun gets high, just like all smallmouth, they like to cruise the shallows. That's just basic smallmouth. But I mean, I just happened to catch them day 2 on live, shallow in that one place. There was a big school there that I capitalized on, but I mean, I wasn't all shallow. I weighed, I think 4 out of my 10 fish I weighed deep off boulders. So I was doing a mix. It just happened to be on day 2. I got on that big school up shallow, and that's what most people saw.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, it was a cool thing. So, and obviously a couple of your baits got let out to everybody to see. Has that kind of always been a deal, or have you just ran into throwing those things out there? Why do you think that works so well?
I think it does just a combination of imitating the small crawfish that they like to eat, and also shiners with the little, appendages. I think it imitates both really well, and I think that's why it works good. It's not just leech that they work. They work everywhere smallmouth swims. They love that little stupid thing. So
yeah. Maybe you can enlighten the boys a little bit on what's going on there. I got to run and go grab something to drink, boys, but you guys can take over chatting with Easton.
I have an oddball leech lake question for you. You've spent so much time behind your forward-facing sonar, and you've spent so much time on leech. I'm sure checking everywhere from shallow to the deepest spots in the lake. You ever see any burbot out there on your forward-facing sonar midsummer that are like, where do they go in the summer, dude? There's a ton of them.
I've always wondered that. They have to bury in the mud. That's the only thing I got.
They have to. That's so weird. Especially because, I don't know, that whole event, I was just wondering, I was like, are guys seeing them on their FFS? Just like out in the middle of nowhere, suspending, just a snake.
Because in the winter, when you're ice fishing, you do see them suspended every once in a while, and it's obvious that they're. I mean, like you said, it looks like a snake in the water.
Snake.
Yeah.
But you've seen none of that in the summer while you've had live scope.
No, nowhere, never.
The great mystery still exists. What do they do in the summer? Interesting. Dang.
No, those fish stink. So Easton, out of like all the tournaments you've fished, what would you say it was probably your biggest learning experience this year that you can take away going into the Elite Series? Because like you're fishing 9 events and a lot of time from home, a lot more pressure than you probably have felt maybe in other tournaments compared to college fishing in general. What's something that you maybe learned about yourself as a fisherman that you now have a lot more confidence going in? Obviously being number 1 in the EQ is a huge deal, but what's something that you'd overcome throughout that year?
I guess the biggest thing I've learned is you just have to have a mental, you have to have a stable mind. You can't let adversity, ruin your day, because I mean, no matter what tournament it is, where you're at, you're going to face it at some point during a tournament.
Right.
So, I mean, that goes back to my personality. I'm not one to usually get fired up or, get down. I'm super even level even keel.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the biggest thing I learned over the season in terms of fishing, I actually learned it at Santee Cooper, my worst finish this year. I had a really good first day, had like 23 pounds, and, I caught them all off bed. I was using the forward-facing sonar bed fishing, and I had a bunch of them, saved for day 2, and I was all excited, ready to go. I'm going to top 10 this thing, I'm all jacked up, and I go there and fully committed. That was the only day the whole year where I had just a complete closed mind, went out knowing exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do good. And that bit me so bad, just being 100% committed in the bed fish. Just, I didn't have the points standpoint in my mind at all. I was just, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to smash them.
Blast them.
Good. And it bit me so bad. So that really taught me a lesson in the opens, and also the elites a little bit, maybe a little bit less, but you got to have the points in the back of your mind at all times, have limit holes, that sort of thing. Just always make sure you can do your best to come in with 5 keepers before you go try to win the tournament. And by far the biggest thing I learned all season.
Yeah. And it's quite the phenomenon. Like looking at anglers who've done very well over the course of their careers. I mean, there's only a couple that I can think of that are loud, boisterous, huge, emotional guys that have done well. Like you have Ike and Ellie, maybe Skeet Reese. Otherwise, the crew of guys like are always even keel. Nothing. I mean, for like younger guys that are listening, if you're getting like upset over a lost fish or your trolling motor breaks during the tournament, I mean, you could probably attest adversity is going to happen. Uncontrollables are going to happen. Like it can't bother you. Every single tournament happens to every single guy. Like if you are even keel and can keep it together, like you're one to, I can tell by your temperament, like you're the perfect example of it. You and like Jay Shakurik, even keel, completely even keel. Never too high, never too low.
Yeah, I mean, I jump off, like you follow, for example, day 2, first bite I get, it's a 5 or 6 pounder. I jump it off right in my hands. I touch the fish twice.
Yeah.
It would have been so easy just to get spun out, and it could have ruined my whole day. But I tend to flip those instances into a positive, like snap my fingers, just knowing, okay, I'm around the right fish. Let's get locked in here. Like, let's make the next one. Let's capitalize on the next bite.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what you have to do. And, you can turn that lost fish actually into a positive. You can use it as a confidence boost. Okay, I'm around the right fish. Let's make the next one count.
That's great advice. Damn. That's great advice.
Yeah. In my mind, like fishing with, I think early in my fishing, like when I was like high school age, I would get so upset of losing like a big muskie or something like that. And then fishing with certain people, they're like, what are you yelling about? Like, why are you getting so upset? Because you want it so badly, but it's only just going to knock you off your game even further, and you can ruin your day so quickly. Like I've seen people, on a TVA, like where you're fishing side by side, or you're fishing in a big group of fish or a big group of people, and they lose, a 4-pounder, which a 4-pounder in the grand scheme of things is a good fish, but it's not going to end your day. You can make up with that, and they're done. They're literally done.
Yeah.
Like the first hour of the day, they're done. You might
They're
as well count
they're just like Cat.
Yeah.
It's like Cat on the T-wheels. This is emotional wreck. They're done. I have a question for you. This is another oddball question. I'm just thinking of the oddball ones, and I'm thinking about our conversation we've had. Have you mastered the Alabama jerk on Lay Lake when you press up shallow?
I think I'm pretty decent at it. I go do that all the time. I really enjoy that bite.
The Alabama shake?
The Alabama shake.
Mm-hmm.
Did you do it before you went there?
No, not at all. My
That's
buddy,
so weird. That's so weird.
I'm super good friends with Wesley Gore. He was a rookie last year on the Elite Series, and he went to school at Montevallo. That's how I met him.
Yeah.
And he kind of showed me the ropes around here a little bit, and that's the first thing he showed me is how to swim a jig around here. So,
dude, I drew Wesley Gore, in an open on Lay Lake, and I was his co. And dude, he literally he showed me exactly how to do it, and I was freaking mind blown. He's a master at the shake.
He's probably the best swim jig fisherman, if not probably top 3 out there right now. He's incredible with it.
I was blown away. That's cool that that you saw him do it, and that's who showed you the shake. Okay, continue what you're saying, Cody.
Oh no, I was gonna say, I mean, Jason Christie, I can see the tournament on my TV screen sitting at Maria Drive, like watching Jason Christie on Dardanelle shaking his rod tip, and like in his Okie accent and like his towering stature. I'm like, that is the coolest person on the Elite Series. That guy is so awesome.
Dude, and nothing like when I went down to fish the ABT 100s and stuff, you get down there and you're like, all right, Alabama shake. I'm going to shake a swim jig. And then you do it for like an hour or two and maybe don't get bit. And you're like, God, I don't know. This is stupid. Like, they don't actually catch them doing this.
Have you tried bringing that back to Minnesota?
I don't think it makes a difference in Minnesota. I tend to just keep reeling mine. Just take grass with it.
Okay.
I've always wondered what I think it's gizzard shad that you're imitating with that.
Sure.
I really don't know. The shake does make a difference. I can tell you that it makes a difference, but I don't know what the forage is or what it is that makes that better. You know what I mean? On different lakes.
Yeah.
Do you think it's like the whole like stalling it and keeping it above that cover just a hair longer that does it with it too? You get what I mean? Because it almost seems like it swims a little shallower when you do shake it like that too.
I really don't know.
Wesley fishes is so fast, dude. He's so fast with it. He's so fast with it.
Yeah, he always throws a 3/8 ounce swim jig, and I mean it's on the surface. It doesn't even. It's not submerged ever. It's just skiing across the water.
That's
so
sweet.
Dang.
Well, then, all I was going to get into, did you guys jump into the Mississippi River, the last one here?
No.
Oh, no. Okay. But so when you get to the Mississippi River, now like, oh my God, I'm leading angler of the year and Cody Myers chasing me. who has done decent in his career, I would say.
And he's always been good there.
Yeah, and he's always done good in lacrosse. So I guess other than maybe a team trail or two, do you have much experience on the Mississippi River, or kind of how are you looking into that one, getting down there?
I'd fished 2 high school tournaments out there, but other than that, no experience. So I was just really excited because what I really want to do is fish current. And, going to the Coosa River the last 4 years, I really understand how to read the water and, where fish position in current. So that's what I was really excited to do out there.
Yeah. The one you didn't, I would assume too, you didn't want to make a decision of going to pool 7 or 9. I would assume you just decided I'm staying 8. I'm not playing the lock game. I got way too much on the line.
Yep. I made that decision before I even got there that I'm staying in 8.
Gotcha. So yeah, you didn't have to worry about any of the lock drama there.
Nope.
And there was plenty of it.
That stress would have crippled me. I couldn't do that.
How did you end up catching them there?
I caught them all on a big swim bait and a glide bait. I got on a really fun bite there.
Really?
Awesome.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I had noticed that in practice, they were starting to get on the big shad, and I was just going to have fun and fish Main River smallmouth. But yeah, they were getting on the big shad, and that was definitely a bite that was there. But
That's
was like,
gangster.
I decided to go do top water the whole time, which is just as fun, but you lose a ton of them.
Right.
Did you have all largies, or were you smallies and largies?
I had 2 smallmouth spots, but they kept missing my bait for some reason.
Yeah.
Day 2, I went out there with, stinger hooks on my swim baits and everything, trying to make sure I get the smallmouth bites in the boat, and they still missed my hooks. So it was.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Yeah. Those smallmouth the last day of practice, and I was having like 3.5, 4 pounders jump completely over my spook. It was making me so mad, but
I ended up having to throw a fluke the whole tournament to actually catch them.
Dang.
They would get that, but they would, like you said, somersault a spook, and you're like, why?
That's crazy.
But they grabbed the fluke. It was really
my
weird.
deal I was doing, I wasn't getting much bites, and both mornings I had, they weren't good ones. I mean, like 2 pounders, they would swallow my swim bait, and they were actually tongue hooked, and I knew dang well they were both going to die, but I had to keep them because at that point in my day, I didn't know how many fish I was going to catch. And day 1, I ended up having like 16.5 pounds at 7:30, and that fish was already dead in my live well. And I had the 2 pounder, and then my next small was a 330. So I mean, I couldn't go around burning 3 pounders trying to call that 330. So that was a really tough decision that I had to make. But looking back, I would have thrown the fish back. But that's hard to, looking back, it's hindsight's always 20/20. But
Yeah,
it's just tough decisions you gotta make sometimes.
Well, then getting into the last one, I know you have been very vocal in saying Hartwell's your favorite lake in the country.
Mhm.
And then, so you're pumped going there to end the season, and then voila, hurricane, and it gets moved. Were you like distraught when that happened, or like how was that for the mental state when that happened?
I actually wasn't. Actually, right when the river ended, I jumped in the truck and drove as fast as I could to Hartwell to try to get a week of pre-practice in. And had a really good week. They were biting their heads off, and was feeling really good. And then they did, they relocated it. And at first I was like, oh, that sucks, but turned that into a positive really quick. Just realizing that no one pre-practice, completely level playing field, and that actually made me really excited. I've been to Martin, I think 5 times or so before that tournament. So just enough to kind of have a lay of the land, just a little bit of a feel where the bigger ones tend to live. And
where is that in Alabama? Is that a part of the Coosa? Or I didn't pay much attention to that one, admittedly, but where is that?
Where I'm at here at school, it's an hour and a half southeast. So I would say
that's not far.
2 hours southeast of Birmingham.
Oh, so it's almost by Eufaula.
It's right by Eufaula.
It's not connected though?
No.
So does it just like permanently have smaller fish in it, and that's why the weights were that way, or was it just fishing really bad?
it fishes really bad that time of year, and I also think it's in a little bit of a down cycle right now. It's just, it's, I don't know, lakes go in cycles, and I think it's just on a really tough down cycle right now.
Gotcha. Well, then, I mean, catch what, 10 pounds a day, and you're like, I did it.
Yeah, this time of year. The thing with martin is anywhere you go out deep, there's schools of 50 to 100 fish, and they're usually 1 pound to pound and a half, and that sucked a lot of people in, just trying to survive that tournament, catching as many of those as you can. And I tested that the first 2 days of practice, and I had like 7 pounds one day and then 9 pounds the next day, and I just got frustrated doing that because that's what I started with. I love fishing deep, love using my electronics, but I just came to the conclusion that wasn't going to cut it. So from then on, the last 3 days of practice, I basically committed to the shallow game and ended up getting on a pretty decent pattern of fishing docks in the morning and then wolf packing fish in the afternoon up shallow with a jig and a wacky worm. So, but that was kind of my game plan going into that week.
When you say wolf packing them, what do you mean by that?
Oh, they were packing along seawalls in like inches of water. There'd be 3 or 5 of them. Usually when they do that, they're pretty good ones. Last day of practice, I found one wolf pack. It was like 2-3 pound spots, and then like a 6 pound largemouth following them. So
Dang.
I was seeing stuff like that up in the super shallows. It was kind of cool to see.
Is basically the only way to catch them then, like a buzzbait, what guys were throwing? Or
you can use a buzzbait, but when I was seeing them, there was complete glass calm, super clear water, and the sun was beating down on them. And when it's like that, I like to throw a wacky worm at them. Just they're super spooky when they're doing that. So you got to make sure you lead way out in front of them because they can't hear the splash or nothing, or they'll spook. So you got to lead them and then try to get the worm in position when they come swimming by it.
Almost like sight fishing a smallmouth.
It's exactly the same thing.
Huh.
Wow.
Crazy how much that correlates around the country.
Another thing you can relate to Minnesota.
Was it ultimate relief when it was done? Was it just like a 1,000 pounds off your shoulders? Like, what was the first thing you did when it was done? Done. Like, I'm talking celebration's over. You drive back to wherever you're staying by Logan Martin. What was the first thing?
Sit in the couch and do nothing.
Breathe. Probably breathe. Yeah. Oh man.
Were you in the Elite Series going to that event?
Yeah, I originally wasn't going to, but they sent the announcement out that there's only 120 boats, and at that point I was.
So you could do the math quick, and you're like, "Oh, I'm in."
Mm-hmm.
That had to have been really nice to at least know that going into that event. Then
that took a lot of stress off for sure.
Huh. Where was Dakota before that tournament? Before Logan Martin?
I think Dakota went into that tournament in 7th. He was definitely still, he could have easily been cut if he didn't perform.
Where was he after Leech? Because he kind of struggled on Leech day 2, didn't he?
Yeah, he caught a bag on day 1, and then day 2 he had one fish, I think.
On day 2.
Going into Leech, I had a 1-point lead over Dakota in Angler of the Year.
Wow.
They fluctuated a lot.
Leech really, yeah.
Leech did Leech things.
Like it always does.
Yeah, that was a very good playing field, I think. I'm sure we'll see them back. I believe the open schedule should come out this week.
That was word on the street at Martin, so we'll see.
Yeah, word on the street is back. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but we'll see. Yeah, like I said, it fished way bigger than I anticipated it would. And it is just going to be tough as nails every single time. So that'll never change. That's the one nice thing about that place. But now you're in on the Elite Series, I guess. You got to be looking forward to it. That's like childhood dream and stuff. Like what is that whole thing like now? Getting it all ready, like, okay, now I have to go fish the Elite Series.
It's wild. I don't think it'll feel real until going out to practice for the first tournament. It all still feels like a dream, but now I'm to the point where I'm trying to get boat, all the equipment, everything situated for next year, sponsors. This is the first time I'm really having to do the whole sponsor game, so I'm really trying to learn the ropes, and that's in the business side of everything. So
did you kind of have stuff lined up a bit after ICAST and stuff like that
Mhm.
for like, hey, if this goes the way it should, or I hope anyways.
Yeah, with the bracket, I had everything paid for this year, so I've been trying to, build relationships with companies and stuff, trying to plan for next year, just saying like I'm good for this year, but let's think about doing something for 25. That's kind of how I've been approaching everything.
You got any like cool ones you want to talk about that like are signed up that you can talk about now?
Striking, lose, Sims. I'm actually trying to get in with Ryugi, which I would be super excited about. They're like my favorite hooks on the planet. So I've been talking to Taku and those guys over there. So we'll see if that comes together.
I guess, has it been the coolest thing this year has to have been starting the beginning of the year, you're the college bracket champ and stuff, and then leading angler of the year and stuff. When did you start feeling the transition with maybe some Elite Series anglers that are out there to them being like, you're one of us? You know what I mean? Like, was that part of the way through the year? All of a sudden, you're starting to build relationships with elite guys, and it's going from, oh, I'm talking to my you're still talking to your college buddies, but you get to weigh-ins, and now it's Seth and Taku coming up to you compared to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess that's been just a slow progression over the season, I would say. It seemed like every open, a new elite would come up to me and kind of introduce himself and be like, good job, you're far, that sort of thing. And that's been really cool. Just, all the guys I've idolized my whole life are, kind of taking notice and introducing themselves to me. That's cool. Really cool experience every time a new one comes up to me and introduces himself. It's, the little kid in me is like jumping up and down every time that happens.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite Elite Series angler? He could be retired. He could be dead. He could be still active.
My favorite ever is Aaron Martins by far.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed with Aaron Martins.
Yeah.
But he has to say Taku right now. So
yeah. I mean, Taku Itu. One thing I've noticed too, and I want to know when you first got it, is a thing. I've seen you with that maroon Sims hat for I don't know how many events now. Is that OG Lucky hat? Is that you just being like, I'm just pimping it out for Sims because like shout out Sims is gonna be my partner next year, or is that like your hat? Because you strictly wore just that one.
Mm-hmm.
The first term I wore it at was Leech, so it's been good mojo ever since then.
Will you change? Will you change, or if it keeps rolling?
As long as she stays intact, I think she'll ride. So we'll see how long she lasts.
Hahner, the ultimate question here is Hahner's longtime Sims pro. Is Easton a Sims guy?
Oh yeah.
You just look at a guy and you're like, that's a Sims guy.
No, he is. He's Minnesota and a bass head and cool hand. Yeah. Yep, definitely a Sims guy.
Just watch out. Don't pick up the steelhead game quite yet.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You'll fully convert. You'll start thinking about going to Patagonia after that.
We got the two guys on this podcast who are down this road. One of them already did.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, another question for you. No, go ahead, Cody.
Oh, I was going to say, do you have something on the schedule other than the smallmouth fisheries that you are most excited for?
That's what I was going to ask.
When you see it on the schedule that pops up. Can't say a smallmouth fishery.
Everyone thinks I'm crazy, but the Elite Series, the one that's not a smallmouth I'm most excited for is Sabine River. I'm so excited to go there. I've wanted to go there for a long time. So I finally get to.
Why?
That's my wheelhouse. A grinder tournament where it's complete mental game, small fish, a big bite goes a long ways. Those are my tournaments. And, I really think that's one where I might be able to separate myself, just having a strong mind.
I like that.
That's a good answer.
Those are my favorite kinds of tournaments. And just that style of fishing. The couple title fisheries I've been to, I loved. And, it just looks fun. Spinnerbait, flipping, all that deal.
Dang.
Aren't they going to a new title fishery next year? Is that where is that the same section that the BPT went to technically this year?
I don't even know.
What's the name of it? I can't remember what the name of it is.
I don't even know. I don't know how to say it.
God, see, I'm gonna find it real quick.
Some title fishery, like in South Carolina, North Carolina, right?
North Carolina.
Yeah, it's
North Carolina.
That is such a scary response, dude. If I was an Elite Series dude and I knew your background where you cut your teeth, like Natural Lakes, Minnesota, and then you spent your whole college career learning current on the Coosa River, and you're most excited about going to the Sabine, which is title, that is like the scariest response ever. Basically, like, this dude is so well-rounded and just dangerous as hell. I'd be scared shitless.
The Pasquotank
next year.
Pasquotank
for you comment.
Pasquotank River. That's what it's called.
Right.
In the Albemarle Sound.
We'll go with that.
Elizabeth City, North Carolina.
I saw there's low 20-pound bags in there, so
I've heard there's giants. The couple articles I did read, there's 8-pounders in there.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be sweet.
So
I mean,
there's that. It could be like the Chesapeake Bay where it only fishes good in the spring too, but you don't know.
Could be. We'll find out.
Could be.
No, that's super exciting. I know. I mean, all of Minnesota is like, this is exciting to see. We get to see another Minnesota boy make his way through and, go compete on the elites. And now we don't have to worry about you taking all of our team trail money for a little while. Just Gordon. Yeah, who's Gordon going to have in his boat next year? Pekegaba's on the schedule. There ain't no way he's missing.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll try to wiggle his way in there. I don't know who to fish with, but
you fly home, fish with him.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Skip a practice day.
Wouldn't be shocked. All right. You guys got anything else, or should we dive into this weigh-in real quick?
I've got 2 more questions for him. 2 more questions, semi off the wall. Question number 1. What is your second favorite thing to do in the entire world besides bassing, besides thinking about bassing, besides prepping for bassing or actually bassing? Second favorite thing, like how are you spending your time? Someone's like, you can't bass or do anything with bass the rest of your life. What are you doing tomorrow?
I love to play basketball. That's my second favorite thing. I play tons of basketball. Love it.
Awesome.
I know you had thrown out that you might go another year of college. I'm assuming that's out the window now.
Yeah, I backed out of that.
That's good decision.
What did your professor say?
Not too much. I mean, I kind of backed out before I was, committed with a schedule and everything. But Nick's actually my college partner. He's in his 5th year right now doing the Masters, and he's like, "Dude, you made the best decision ever." Like, it's pretty hefty workload, I guess. So I'm really glad I backed out.
And what was your degree? Yeah, what was your degree in college? I guess I don't even know that.
Marketing.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's all
So
set
you got
up
a
and
good,
ready.
yeah.
Right?
Yep. It's like
It's
the college.
crazy to think about, like,
fishing degree.
I was in the Bassmaster Classic and staying up till 1 a.m. doing homework last time. Like, it seems like that's how long the open season seems. Like, it seems like years ago. I mean, I just remember back like Okeechobee, I was doing homework every night, and like it seems like forever ago I graduated, but yet I don't know. It's really weird how.
Well, the open schedule is like literally 10 months long.
Mm-hmm.
It is so long.
Guys are complaining about like retying their FG knots, and you're like, dude, I have homework. Like, you can't say anything.
I got a psych test.
I did a couple different tests on the water during opens practice. It was.
Oh my gosh, that sounds miserable.
Go drive to a pocket you actually can like hotspot in.
Mm-hmm. No, I did plenty of that. Zoom calls, all that.
And he beat everybody.
That's electric.
Love it. All right. Well, Easton, I had texted him ahead of time. I think he's going to hop in for this weigh-in, right?
Sure.
Do you know what the weigh-in is?
Hold on, I gotta take.
Toby, you gotta.
I gotta take a pee break. Maybe Easton, do you have to relieve yourself as well? A quick intermission? No,
I'm good to go.
This dude doesn't even have to go to the bathroom. That's why he casts more than everybody.
All right, so we're gonna do a segment of the weigh-in. So Easton, what this is we basically go around the table and we snake draft a team of whatever the subject is. This subject is going to be the most we're going to call it the most OG bass baits of all time. So
like OG as in bait categories, or like baits that aren't made anymore?
They can be baits that are made. Just like OG, like fish catchers, I'm thinking like old school type stuff. Like, I don't know if you can necessarily throw like jig head minnow in right now. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily OG yet. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like we all feel that vibe. You know what I'm saying, Hahner?
Yeah. Are we doing?
I think you have to be
bait?
specific by brand with the bait,
Okay, not like bait category.
not bait category. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you're gonna have to be specific by bait. So Sobi, the topic will be the most OG bass lures
Okay.
or bass baits of all time. I got it up right now. We'll just go around the horn. We'll start with Easton, then we'll go Sobi, Hahner, me, and then I'll have 2, and we'll wrap around.
All right, we'll see what this dice throwing mother sucker's got about OG baits.
I bet he's.
Come on, let's rattle him. Even
No,
keel my ass.
No, I can tell. I can tell he is a bass nerd. He's got his beat by a long shot.
Most OG bass baits of all time. Easton Fothergill, lead us off.
Head and spook.
All
See?
right.
Told you.
That's a good one of one. I think there's a better one of one out there potentially, but we'll see how this goes. Sobi.
Skitter pop?
That's your pick 1, 2?
No, that's it. Nope.
That's
I guess I'm
I'm up. Yamamoto Senko. Bart,
God damn it.
No. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
You said it.
No. I'm under the wrong understanding. I'm under the wrong understanding.
No,
I took a bathroom break. Hear me out. I came in not.
I literally said
you're talking OG in the sense of like just the OG bass baits, or are we talking old baits? I'm talking like old baits.
Both OG baits.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
What brand is it? Is it a Rapala Skitter Pop?
Yeah.
Wild pick for the second overall.
And you picked the Yamamoto Senko? Okay.
Yeah, that was right with head and spook number.
Okay.
Like the bait that's probably caught more bass in. All right, never mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the jackhammer.
Okay.
Chatterbait.
See, I'm under the wrong understanding. I thought you guys were talking like old school bass baits.
Well, it can be that too, but like a jackhammer chatterbait is now what, like 10 plus years old?
I thought we were talking like
10
old...
plus years old.
No. That's why you even saying that is like, I went to the bathroom at the wrong time. I think that's an OG.
Rules. And then the other I'm going to go with the Rapala DT10.
Okay.
I think a DT10 will go there. Hahner?
I'm going to do Rattle Trap.
Oh, gosh, OG.
See,
I like a Rattle Trap pick opposed to the jackhammer. Rattle Trap seems like old school. Like
you should have said original chatterbait.
Mm-hmm.
Original chatterbait, not jackhammer.
I can make it that if you want.
No.
You go jackhammer.
No, you got to go jackhammer.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm okay with that pick. Someone else can take original. That's whatever. I don't care. Sobi, Mr. Skitter Pop.
I'm gonna back that up with a hula popper. That's OG.
Sticking to the popper category. Okay. All right.
And then I'm going to do a DT.
No, you're not. Easton's up. He's got 2 back to back.
I thought I was back to back.
Reaction Invasion Sweet Beaver.
Oh, that's a...
Yeah.
You got another one, Easton.
I'll do War Eagle Spinnerbait.
Oh, yeah. That's OG.
Coleslaw.
That is a...
Yeah, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That is a third rounder. Mr. Skitter Pop and Hula Popper probably would have liked a War Eagle spinnerbait on that roster.
Gosh.
Sobi, you are now up. What are you backing up with?
I think OG. Let's do another top water. No, I'm kidding. No,
you can do all top water.
I think I'm gonna do a red eye shad trap. That's OG.
All right.
Hahner, you're not up.
You don't get 2.
I'm looking. Hey, look.
He's got so many OG baits hanging in his garage. Okay, Hahner, what do you got?
Mega Bass Vision 110.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Have to.
I'm gonna go with Wigglewort. And then
Wigglewort is good. It's a great
I'm gonna go with Spro Frog.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hahner. I just thought of another one that I'm a little like, oh man.
You know what? I'm gonna go with the worm category. Zoom Trick Worm.
That's a good one.
Oh, but there's so many from that company that are just I don't know if I like that, but
I was thinking a different worm.
yeah. No, that's my pick.
Sobi, what are you at? You got another top water for us?
I have one pick here or two.
One.
Still one.
You're at Rapala Skitter Pop, Hula Popper, and Red Eye Shad.
I'm gonna go the Sluggo. That was before the Yamamoto Cinco, brother.
I think Sobi's trying to go for a record of the lowest percentage votes ever. In a way.
No. I think our demographic will. I think
they'll understand.
I think our demographic has no idea.
The Sluggo was before the stick bait, dude.
All right, Easton, you get to bring her home.
Strike King 6XD.
That's a good pick. I was debating that or the DT10.
How many times are we going around?
That was it. Now we can go. We can just keep going if we want. Should we just keep this wild?
Honorable mentions?
We can do honorable mentions. They won't go on anybody's list, but we can go around the table. I was thinking, I'll go first. I was thinking worm category. Robo worm. Magic.
Yeah.
I was thinking a ribbon tail power worm. That's OG.
Oh, that's a real. See that? Why didn't you put that on your
Zoom
roster?
Old Monster.
That would have been a fantastic
the old monster
one.
OG Craw Tube.
Zoom Speed Craw.
I know. Oh, a Zoom Speed Craws.
Or a Berkeley Chigger Craw.
Ooh, Pit Boss.
Oh, Pit Boss is a big
Pit Bosses used to be the deal back in the day.
Oh, Pit Boss is a big miss.
The Vixen. That should have been a top water bait for you, Sobi.
Yeah. You know what's one we missed here, and we're gonna get roasted on this. Big time roasted, all of us. Nobody said a jig.
Yeah, the jig. OG mop jig, pig and a jig. Should have said
nobody put jig.
I know, but it's got to be like which brand of jig, like what exact jig?
What is the OG jig?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question, actually.
Yeah, what is the OG jig?
There's Ken Duke or Matt Pangrack when you need him.
You know, the jig and pig, but what's the jig? Actual jig.
That's a fantastic question.
Who had the first main staple?
It's got to be some sort of mop jig, but I don't know who made it.
Yeah, who had the first staple mop jig?
Yeah, a jig would have been a really good one.
Yeah.
Golly, you should have showed that off at Leech. Pig and a jig. That's what I threw all day. That's what you should have said. You pull out the rinds from the dish.
Just mess with everyone.
Yeah. Taku puts powder on. Okay, mine's in just a little dish right here with this pig water.
The label is like deteriorated off of the.
It's from 2001.
Trying to get that Omnia sponsorship, he just pulls out a pack of wild river jerky and just like hooks one of the jerky pieces onto his jig. He's like, yeah.
Oh, just throw out some other honorable mentions. I was thinking really.
That's what I was trying to think of more. Oh, KVD 1.5 square bill.
Yeah, for sure.
Kitech fat swim bait.
Yeah.
Huddleston.
Yeah, the HUD.
Depths 250.
Yeah. I'd even throw a mag draft in there as OG.
I think mag draft and Chatterbait are right on that end of like, where I think they're definitely there.
Any honorable mentions? Comment them down below too. Honorable mentions. Some real OG ones, and then kind of right on that.
There's
same
going to
line
be
as
one
Chatterbait.
painfully obvious that we missed. That's going to be a
Gotta be
really big
some-
bummer.
What's the first wake bait?
Oh,
The
Bait,
just
like
a,
I know,
OG,
it's like
OG
the
Spook or Sexy Dog Junior. or
no. It's the cotton cordell.
yeah,
something
you know,
redfin, or is it what it?
Silver.
No, I know it's got the real. It's real stupid looking.
yeah,
Is it a Smithwick? That had the
No.
first-
Smithwick Rogue I was potentially going to take after the Vision 110, but
Yeah,
I felt like Wigglewort was more fitting.
Oh.
wait,
Give 1 more minute for honorable mentions. There's got to be something that we're really.
man, TRD.
TRD.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right on that same line of like
Yeah,
tag draft and the Chatterbait.
just being new, but also like, yeah, I do love your 7-inch power worm. So
Yeah.
that should have definitely been one.
Or kind of OG too, like a prop bait, a Devil's Horse. That's OG.
mm,
Yeah,
mhm.
being from Minnesota, the fact that none of us said like a jig worm, a mushroom head.
Yeah, go for tackle mushroom head.
Yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, I think I feel good about the honorable mentions now.
Yeah, I do too.
I do feel sad that there's no jig on there, but all right, I'll roll through everyone. So the way this will work on social media is we will put up a poll and people will vote for whoever has the best team. So we got Easton in most OG bass baits. Easton has a head and spook, reaction innovation sweet beaver,
Such a
a
good
War
one.
Eagle spinner bait,
That's a
and
really
a
good
Strike King 6XD.
one. Yep.
That's a strong lineup.
Mhm.
Don't worry, we got a better one next. We got Sobi.
I went to the bathroom. Now that we're doing old baits.
Still leading off with that. Okay.
Oh.
Sobi with a home run lineup of a Rapala Skitter Pop,
It's an OG great bait, by the way.
a Hula Popper. I don't even, is that the brand? Is there a brand I need to put on there? Or just Hula Popper?
Put Hula Popper.
Hula Popper.
Watch me win this. Watch me win this.
Strike King Red Eye Shad. And a Sluggo.
Sluggo, you guys are too young.
You could have
my
said
God.
you could have said the banjo minnow. Over
Connor's
the
literally
Sluggo.
older than you.
The Sluggo, dude, was before the stick bait. Trust me.
Okay.
All
It
right.
might have been, but yeah.
Okay.
Just bringing that up. Yeah. Okay. Hahner, we got Yamamoto Senko, Rattle Trap, Mega Bass Vision 110, and a Zoom Trick Worm.
It's a strong lineup. That's strong.
Strong lineup. And
I
then
would have had Sprole Frog in there.
yeah, Spro Frog would have really brought that home. Then we got mine with Jackhammer Chatterbait, Rapala DT10, Wigglewort, and a Spro Frog.
Mm,
That's a solid lineup.
yeah.
I think three of those are really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's solid.
And then we got one that's just spectacular.
You watch me win this.
All right. This will be posted on our social media platforms. People definitely go vote, interact with us. And we're trying to get up to 100 or 1,000 YouTube subscribers. Push us over the way. Right, Easton? They all need to go subscribe to Past The Barb. We're the #1 outdoor podcast in the world, right?
that's right.
That's what whenever you go on your
Right.
next podcast interview and they're doing their whole you won the EQ interview and stuff, you got to be like, well, I was on the #1 outdoor podcast in the world before this.
Past the Barb. That's where it's at.
Yeah, you gotta drop it on whatever podcast you go on next. Be like, yeah, I had a great time, but it wasn't quite Past the Barb
Yeah.
level.
This is maybe #2 or #3, but I've been on #1, and that's why I was there first.
All right. Well, you boys got anything else for Easton?
Easton, one more OG bait, and I'm wondering if you threw it at all once in your college career or this year? The OG Zoom brush hog. Do you ever throw a Carolina rig?
Harris chain.
Oh.
Are you a lizard or a brush hog guy?
I'm more of a lizard guy, but
Ah!
I have thrown the brush hog, I must say.
Okay.
Yep. That's my fantasy pick right there. I'm sorry, Jay. I found my.
He's a lizard guy. I have no choice.
We got to pick between Jay and Easton. It's going to be so hard. Fantasy fishing next year. Speaking of that, Sobi, give an update on your punishment. Easton, you hear about Sobi's punishment? Sobi lost fantasy fishing. He was not in last going into the last event. And then, believe it or not, they went to the St. Lawrence in a scoping derby, and he picked 4 people who don't scope.
I need you to know, Easton, I completely forgot to set my lineup for a whole event, and I was leading Adam by 1 point. So that just shows you where I was and now where I ended up, which is dead last. So I have a punishment. I have not done it yet, but that's only time will tell. So, yeah.
Do we know what the punishment is?
Yeah, what is your punishment, Sobi?
I have to fish some sort of sanctioned tournament with a Mickey Mouse rod. I potentially found a loophole because they didn't say open water, so I might enter an ice derb with Mickey Mouse or a frozen rod. And yeah, it'll be gangbusters, all gas, no brakes. I will be spooling it up with heavy line and going for the dub.
I tried to register him for the Arsenal Fall Brawl, and he wouldn't let me do it.
No, it should be like the Gunnersville Spro only tournament.
Okay, Sobi, I'm okay with a caveat.
Wesley Gore, Tommy the Shake.
Sobi, I am okay with a caveat on this tournament. I think Hahner would agree with me on this. We're sacrificing Easton a little bit, but I think he'd be chill because, he can carry the weight by himself. If you go down south in the fall here and fish a local derby with Easton.
He has some clubber on Lay Lake, and I just roll in. I could bring carry-on Snoopy poles.
And you have to throw the Snoopy poles. But we would make a rule, Easton, that he has to catch the first one you guys put in your well, because I know you're probably going to be scoping. So watching him try to throw a minnow on a Snoopy rod and keep it suspended while cranking it and shaking it.
Now, throwing the dice with a very parabolic rod as this one, like the Snoopy XR 3000, it's a game change.
Cast really far at 4'8".
How far do you think you could actually cast one of those dice on a Mickey Mouse Snoopy rod out of Walmart? Do you even think line would come out if you push the bail?
Honestly,
I don't think it would.
We'll fish a betting tournament.
I should have made the option that you could either choose a Mickey Mouse or the rocket shooting one.
That would be good too. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll have you fish the Wahoo with Easton next year.
He doesn't want that action in his boat.
It'll be all spawning smallmouth, and Easton will take you to every one of them and be like, "This will win us the tournament. You just have to get us in the boat." And he's just like, "Come on!"
He's on the flogger. He's like right now. I'm with the rocket bobber.
They got the rocket bobber. You're just shooting a minnow at their forehead.
Now, would you say now?
Aim lower.
Aim lower. Play the win.
All right.
Well, Easton, seriously, thank you so much for coming on here. And the biggest of congratulations to you and your whole family. And we're just fired up as hell to watch you next year. And we're just fired up to watch your career unfold. I know you've accomplished so much so far, but it's just the beginning of your career. And it's going to be so fun to watch. And I think the advice you gave tonight to a lot of the younger anglers, even that grew up in the North or that are growing up in the North, that you came from here and you would rather be from the North and go to the South, and that it's possible. I think that's amazing advice and encouragement, because anybody from the North has always had that feeling that these guys fish year round and how can I compete? But you can really, you kind of made it known tonight that your building blocks came from up North, and then you learned a lot down South fishing year round. And that was really, really cool. So thank you so much.
What's your number one piece of advice for a young guy up here wanting to go down south and learn to throw a crankbait?
Learn to throw a crankbait and go to school in the South.
Go to school in the South. Yeah. And learn to throw crankbait.
That's the biggest one.
I like it. All right, Hahner, you got anything else, or are we good?
No, I think we're good. Enjoy your first year. Make sure to focus on the business side quite a bit, because that's that's half the battle, if not more of it. You already got the skill, so I would say the business side is just as big of a deal, if not more. But
and Hahner will tell you that if you happen to have a tournament on Seminole and you jack out your Tinder range to the right amount, you will hit Florida State. All right. And on that note, thank you for listening to another episode of Past the Barb. We'll catch you on the next one.